Viva la Quinta Brigada. Hello, Scream Comrade. Hello, WS Risen. Hello, everyone who's just joined. I hope you're all good. I'm really hot today, even though it's not such a hot day. Hello, Scouty Paws. Wasn't as insufferable as your usuals. What the guy who said he was Jewish? That guy who was being a bit crazy. He had some interesting thoughts on the world. If I'm lagging today, by the way, let me know and I can fix it. It seems to be I just need to turn my internet on and off. By the way, it's so hot right now. Jesus, and it doesn't even feel like a hot day. I'm going to need to shower after this stream. Locked in. Happy Sunday, everyone. Happy Sunday to you all. Thank you all for being here. Thank you all for, as always, good to see you. I hope you had a nice weekend. Sorry about yesterday. I was doing some stuff. I have actually finished a YouTube video, so it's going to be up today, and I'll let you know what I think. I just need the thumbnail. Is the last thing I'm waiting on. I can't make thumbnails yet. One day I'll learn how to do it. But we move for now. You think? No rush. New apartment. Hope you're doing well. Good luck with that. You're on a 45 stream watch streak. Jesus Christ. That is impressive. Oh, fuck's sake. I've just closed Twitch. Hold on 1 second. That is impressive. 45 streams. Is that my stream exclusively, or is that everyone's stream? Also, how's the lighting? Is it a little bit too dark? I don't have my lights on. I'll go pop them on because it is quite dark. Huh. All right. Hello. Wagwan Chris, Wagwan chat, Wagwan everyone. I hope you're all good. We're going to get hop straight onto the Wordle, not Wordle Unlimited. That was the other day when I was waiting for Noah and Isaac. I haven't done the Wordle today. I did it yesterday, but I didn't do it on here, so I lost my streak, which is making me really sad. Be here at the beginning of the stream. Very nice. Okay, I'm going to do that. It's probably bad, but I don't care. Okay. Stamp, I'm going to try. Ooh. No. Shame? I think it's shame. Oh, no. Oh, God. No. I can't think of... I can't think of anything that doesn't end in P. That's a word like that. What the fuck? Ooh, this is hard. What is that? What is that word? What is that wordy? What does that word mean? Swammy? Swami? It's apparently a word in Hinduism. Interesting. Didn't know that. Um, I'm not watching. No, I'm not watching the 1 a.m. game. I've got to be honest. Move your mic closer. Okay. If it's too close, if it's too quiet, just let me know. I can up the volume. But yeah, I'm not gonna be. I'm not gonna be watching the England game. I'm quite tired anyway because I was with friends yesterday. I saw some friends who were in town and I haven't seen them in so long. That's why I changed the stream because they couldn't do today. And I was like, well, I haven't seen these friends and I'm not going to see them for ages if I don't. So I was like, why is Siri listening to me? Thanks, Siri. I bet that was great. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you give me some information on it. But yeah, I ended up seeing them. So I'm a little tired. So I was like, nah, you know what? I should just chill tonight. I think England might win. They might not win. I think England can do it. But if they do, they do. If they don't, they don't. It's what it'll be. What it'll be. I would hope that England go through. I think they're a better team than Mexico. I think Mexico probably played better, but I don't know. Devolve. That's evolve. Evolved. Devolved. Oh my god. Evolve. Ooh. Vold. Foal. I don't know. Foil. Foiled. Oh, look how good that was. Look how good that was. Viva Mexico. I really don't want to. This is why I don't want to stream. I was thinking I'm probably one of the first content creators who you've ever interacted with who's from the UK, who has decent politics and cares about England. And I don't like it. The way that you're all talking, and the way that you're all behaving towards me. I have done nothing wrong. The English national team has done nothing wrong. You're telling me you want to harm a man as nice as Harry Kane. You think he deserves harm. He deserves to win it because he's a nice chap. But yeah, I think England have a higher chance of winning it. I'm going to be honest. I think they should be the favourites, but I'm still not staying up. Imagine if I stayed up till 1 a.m. and then England lost. I'd be really sad. Things England are going to do today: win. That's all I know. Win with honey. No, it's not that. There is the altitude advantage for Mexico, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I think England will be fine. I think England can do it. They have to play better than they did against Dr. Congo and better than they did against the Panamanians. But yeah, I think they can do it. They're from England. They've done everything wrong. Yeah, I guess that's a reasonable reason to be horrible to a poor little boy like me. I hated that team since then. Rooney was scary. Rooney does kind of look like Shrek. England must lose. We don't make the rules. That's not nice. I feel like there isn't this much animosity towards the USA. I actually kind of hope the US beat Belgium. I really do. And then Argentina, Egypt. God. What's the potential knockout path? What did I predict, by the way? I did like predictions of the World Cup. Because I definitely said Germany was going to go through, and then I said France would beat Germany. So I think I predicted all of that right so far. I don't know if I predicted... I definitely predicted that, but obviously that wasn't that hard. I definitely predicted both of those. I think, actually, maybe I said Senegal would go through. I think I said Brazil would go through. I think I said... I don't know, remember if I said Norway would go through. Actually, I did. And then, yeah, I don't think I got any of them wrong from down here. I'm not sure, though. You have to back your team. They're just weird. Nah, I know why people don't like England. England are quite a unanimously disliked team, so it's not really that surprising to me. Oats, seeds. I think it's going to be things that you sow. No, it's not. Things in granola: oats, honey, seeds, nuts. Things in granola. Did you see that? Are you gonna watch the England game? No, I'm gonna watch the. I'm gonna watch Fire Walk with Me instead. Oh, cash, wire, cards. Yeah, I think you're right. Check. Gold, tungsten, platinum. Gold, win. I was thinking these might be metals, but I don't think it is. Gold, win, centurion. Oof. Hello, King Alex. Hello, everyone who's here. Thank you for the answer, Mini Funny. Yeah, I've never seen Fire Walk with Me. We just finished Twin Peaks, so I really want to watch Fire Walk with Me, and I've promised I'll do that tonight because we obviously, as I said, we were doing some stuff last night, so I'm going to watch that tonight, and it'll be fun. I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, so I'm doing that this evening, and then we shall see. Sorry, that probably looks so weird. I don't have a glass. My normal glass, I forgot to bring it up, so yeah. Okay, what is this? Tungsten gold, because I was thinking it's tungsten gold platinum. I'm just gonna guess this. Tungsten platinum. Green? Oh, wait, this is right. Gold, platinum, centurion, win? Oh, what is it? Platinum, centurion. That's one off the gold planet. So it's these three, but I don't know which one with. Green? I don't know. Ways to Amex card types. Oh my god. With tungsten, what W might stand for? Oh my god. West with Jesus Christ. Oh. I had no idea. You only live on Twitch. I didn't get a YouTube notification. No, I did go live, but to be honest, I'm a bit worried about YouTube in the future. I might not be able to. YouTube UK is making some really crazy changes. YouTube UK is saying that basically in the future we're going to be pushed down the recommendation, and they're not going to recommend like channels that aren't official news outlets, which are kind of crazy. It doesn't really surprise me. Hello. But yeah, what can you do? Scream Comrade. Hello. Oh shit! A US pilot is dead. Risen? Yeah. Hello, everyone who's just joined. A US service member is missing. Oh, sorry, I've accidentally just played myself. A US service member is missing, and they are dead because they've just called off the search after 100 hours, which is kind of crazy. They were like bragging about how they could save anyone. US serviceman dead. News. Let's have a look. Yeah, apparently they called off the search finally. Crazy. What can you do? The one in Indonesia. Was it in Indonesia? Was that where it was? I've also closed my Google Docs. I don't think it was it in Indonesia? Maybe I'm wrong. Barry with the Ned. Let's have a look at Barry with the Ned. It was in the Arabian Sea, I thought. Is it near Indonesia? Was that near Indonesia? Is there a different thing you're talking about? I guess it could be near Indonesia. I don't know though. It was in the Arabian Sea from what I heard. So yeah, it was true, by the way. It's not some like mysterious story. CENTCOM are talking about it, I'm sure. But yeah, has been mentioned. I mentioned it on stream the other day. I mentioned this on stream. Dashti Kavir with one leg and one arm, they will be found alive in a month. Maybe, yeah, maybe, we'll see. In what universe is W a symbol for tungsten? Isn't it the periodic table? Yeah, tungsten is W on the periodic table. I have no idea why. Yeah, I thought that I was right. I thought that it was there, but I was like, why would it be in Indonesia? What's going on in Indonesia? What the hell is happening out there? Who the hell is doing that over in Indonesia? But yeah, so right, let's carry on with some stuff. We got some fun stories to talk about. Did anyone see this though? Actually, Israel has set up a settlement in Syria, and it's like they're saying it's for like cow herding. Um, that's what they're saying it's for, at least. They're saying Israeli military occupation to permanent civilian presence. Earlier this year, IOF worked with an Israeli agricultural activist, Photo, to establish a permanent cattle farm beyond the Golan border fence near the Yarmouk River. Around 140 cattle now graze the area, which was previously used by Syrian shepherds. Israeli military justify the project by arguing it provides continuous observation, early warning, and territorial control, reducing the burden on military forces. By the way, is that not just using a human shield? Like having some guy who's like a shepherd. I know it's the cows who are there, but you know, the shepherd has also got to be with them. So surely he's kind of just like a human shield? Right? So sorry, why is it Wolfram? It was originally called Wolfram. The Wolfram is a way cooler word. Does Iran have tungsten mines? I thought by far the biggest tungsten reserves were in China. I thought, but apparently they've been drying up a bit. Do you think settlements will actually be built in Gaza? Israel's actually taken the agricultural land in Gaza, so maybe. Um. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know if they'll do this kind of stuff there. I do think that they want to expel Palestinians. I think it's pretty evident that that's what they're trying to do. So it remains to be seen. It remains to be seen what's going to happen with that. By the way, I was really, really, really enjoying. I was really, really enjoying this. This was from a couple of days ago, but I thought people would still enjoy hearing this. Oh, no, not that one. Someone actually asked a question on Leftovers H3 that I thought I would answer. So there's a small chance they might see this. But I'll do that in a second. I'll show what you're talking about. Oh, wow, I didn't know this. No, an American pilot was killed by rebels in Papua. Indonesia's military has recovered the body of an American pilot who was shot dead by rebels. Wow, I did not know that. Oh my goodness, I had not heard that. Interesting. I'll have to check that out. Someone asked a question talking about this. So there were all of these posts about, I don't know if any of you are on Twitter enough. If you're on Twitter enough, you would have seen this, okay? On Twitter, there were people discussing. Someone asked, "Is this real?" Because this Ehab Hassan guy was talking about how there were going to be massive protests in Gaza against Hamas. The thing is, I do think Palestinians. There are a sizable number of people who don't like who don't like Hamas in Gaza. I don't think that's untrue, but I think a lot of people online inflate this kind of stuff and make claims that just aren't true. They make claims that, you know, there's like a massive movement right now in Gaza that everyone in Gaza is against Hamas. I don't think it's true. I think that most Palestinians still blame Israel for what's happening there, and I don't think what Israel has done will have changed that because they're the ones carrying out the extermination. It doesn't mean it's totally fictitious, but yeah, the notion that it's something that's like the notion that it's something of like everyone in Gaza is doing it isn't true, but these people portray it as that way. I mean, Ethan Klein once said it was the force that would end the war in Gaza. And then speaking of something else, someone posted an interesting commentary. A very interesting and important commentary. If Ethan wasn't such a vindictive narcissist, he'd realize how terrible his lawyer actually is. One of the main reasons Ethan lost his lawsuit with Denims is because the complaint that his lawyer submitted made absolutely no sense from a legal perspective. By the way, one of the other funny things about the complaints is, if you want, me and Isaac and I made a video about this. You can go and watch it. Isaac and I really talked about like how with this thing they made, okay, with this document he sent to Noah, it was like filled with just a ton of mistakes, and I don't know if that's standard practice, but yeah. The legal complaint fully acknowledged that Denim's reaction to the stream is transformative, but in a way that Ethan disagrees with. The judge who dismissed it simply explained that copyright infringement has nothing to do with whether or not the plaintiff agrees with criticism, and then cited Klein's previous lawsuit as the cherry on the cake. Now Ethan is going to appeal the decision with the very same lawyer who can't even submit a copyright complaint properly. What is the lawyer even good for at this point? He lost Ethan the lawsuit with Ryan Kavanagh. He can't seem to do anything about CPS call or skulls being mailed to Ethan's house. Ethan doesn't want a good lawyer. He wants a yes man who will sue without asking too many questions. A good lawyer would have explained to Ethan that his copyright lawsuits are a bad idea. They would have told Ethan that he doesn't have a defamation case against Noah Sampson because Ethan is a public figure and Noah was clearly stating his opinion. If this legal crusade is about CPS and skulls, then Ethan should get a lawyer who actually goes after the people responsible instead of a lawyer who will file frivolous copyright defamation lawsuits to appeal Ethan's twisted sense of justice. I don't really get it. Because someone just said that whatever your lawyer says, you can just be like, send the fucking things, and I can imagine him just telling him to do it. I imagine probably Rombar Nassim, our favourite lawyer, the country's favourite lawyer, did tell Ethan this is a bad idea, hence why Ethan kept saying, like, my lawyer can't do shit, and was, as someone pointed out, I'm sure that that's why Ethan was getting so mad, that his lawyer was basically just like, yeah, I don't think there's, who doesn't wear, like, basically his lawyer couldn't do shit. But yeah. Oh, wow. Holy shit. The Netanyahu government has decided to totally, speaking of the law, unanimously not abide by a Supreme Court ruling. This is the first time this happens in the history of Israel, and is dramatically exacerbated by the constitutional crisis ahead of the October elections. Do you guys want an Israeli election special when it happens? If I'm there, do you want me to do it? A racist, a homophobe, a transphobe, a misogynist and a paedophile walk into a bar. The bartender says the usual, Mr. Klein. You must be talking about a different Klein, because you should not make jokes like that, Marcus. That is a cheeky joke. So, yes, but it is based on Ethan once possessing an account called Pedo Troll. So I assume the joke is based on that. So it's an okay joke. Yes. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, no sending skulls in the chat. It could cause him problems. That skull is anti-Semitic towards Ethan. How dare you? Indeed. Good morning. How is everyone? I'm good, Clay Ben Trace Jr. I am a little tired. But yeah, I probably should do the thing. I don't know what court ruling he's talking about. Nu Ahmad has asked Grok, which is the important person. Decision for television. Today, the Netanyahu approved a resolution refusing to recognize any decisions, appointments, or actions by that body until it meets the statutory requirements. What? So, I don't know. I think that Israel is in a constitutional crisis. I hadn't seen this until now, so assuming it's something to do with him basically ignoring the decisions of other organs of the state that basically he shouldn't be. But yes, someone did point out in response to this that Ethan is probably just asking them to sue. Wait, here's another writing on this, because I'm just kind of like catching up with what this is. By the way, I think Israel is like really in crisis. This is what my current video is about, is literally just using Ethan Klein to talk about it. I think you guys are going to like it, but yeah. Netanyahu cabinet votes unanimously to defy High Court, a first in Israeli history. Netanyahu's government voted to refuse to recognition of any decisions by Israel's second authority for television and radio, the body that regulates commercial broadcasters. This directly defies the High Court ruling that ordered the council to keep operating despite falling below its legal quorum. After a wave of resignations, the court found were likely orchestrated by the communications minister's office. It's the first time an Israeli government has formally declared it will not abide by a High Court ruling. Crazy. Also, I'm sorry, have any of you seen this? We'll talk about it in a second. What the hell is Jackson Hinkle up to? Why is he in? Why is Jackson Hinkle just hanging around in Iran? For Khamenei's funeral? I have no idea. So goodness me. Hinkle is definitely CIA. Well, the CIA needed some representation at Khamenei's funeral, so perhaps that was it. But yeah, I don't know. I think Israel is in a dark place, and it's hard to know how it's going to fix it. Did any of you see this picture as well? I don't know who this guy is, but I feel like I recognize his face from the Argentina-Cape Verde game. Cape Verde. Sorry, also, when I was streaming on TikTok, some of you missed this. Okay, when I was streaming on TikTok, this guy literally just came on and said, "Will you debate Charlie Kirk?" And I said, "No, I won't be debating Charlie Kirk. I got some bad news for you." And someone else responded, "You're smiling as you say that." And it's like, what do you expect me to say? Like, to never profane the legacy of some racist piece of shit, Charlie Kirk. I carry the flame so hard. Like, I'm literally saying that, like, I don't know who this guy is, but he looked a bit like Charlie. And for a moment when I saw that on the television, I started crying. Yeah, he faked his death because he'd always wanted to be a footballer instead of a right-wing conservative commentator. He wanted to play for Argentina. To be fair, if there was one football team that he might play for, it probably would be Argentina, because they're quite racist, you know. A national team. I guess he could try and, I guess he could just try and make it like, he could just make like a thing. I don't know. He could make like a funny, he could make like the USA racist. He is carrying the flame, yeah. Such a fucked up thing to accuse Charlie's #1 fan. Exactly. Yeah, he carries the game. He fights for the 3 points. He'll honor Messi's name. I also got tons of videos of people burning Israeli flags, which is kind of crazy. Yeah, I don't know. It's just, yeah. I also, you know, when I've been away, I've discovered a new Reddit that I really like. r/progressives for Israel. Quite an interesting one. Imagine being sort of like a progressive for Israel. I really don't know what that means. And posting, what is this? Richie Torres from Stand With Us? Hold on.
Alternate reality where evil has become good and wrong has become right. And Israeli self-defense has become aggression, and anti-Semitic terrorism has become resistance. And in that world of lies and blood libels and false narratives, the most important contribution that I can make as a member of Congress is not only my vote in the halls of Congress, but my voice in the public square. You know, the answer to the question of why I choose to speak out lies in Torah. There's a passage in Torah that appears as an inscription in the Liberty Bell. It reads, "Proclaim liberty throughout all lands unto all inhabitants."
No, this also, by the way, this also isn't like a new video. This is like an old Richie Torres clip.
The deeper message is that none of us is free until all of us are free.
I will say, it would be good to see him no longer have power.
I see my freedom as a black Latino from the Bronx as inextricably bound to the freedom of the Jewish people. I see the security of my own nation and home, the United States of America, as inextricably bound to the security of the Jewish homeland. And I'm here to affirm...
Okay, thank you, Richie Torres. Yeah, these people are, they like... I don't really know how you would be posting... like Marco Rubio as an apparent progressive for Israel.
On the contrary, are you filming it? So I want you guys to get this. I want them to destroy every element of Hamas they can get their hands on. These people are vicious animals who did horrifying crimes. And I hope you guys post that.
And what about the civilians that are being killed every day?
Hamas should stop hiding behind civilians, putting civilians in the way. Hamas knew that this was going to lead to this. So Hamas should stop building their military installations underneath hospitals.
So you don't care that 15,000 have died? You don't care about the babies that are being killed every day?
I think it's horrifying. I think it's terrible, and I think Hamas is 100% to blame.
It is kind of amazing of like thinking these kind of people exist. The progressives for Israel. Famine in Gaza is not because of Israel. Meet Ada Jegna, the Israeli woman who spotted a suspicious bag in Tel Aviv. Wow. Oh, this is it. They were getting, like, they were upset because people were posting about how... Look, what Reddit do you think this is from? Hold on a second, actually. Can you guys see the flags down here? Wait. Yeah, you probably can. Palestine flag, burning Confederate flag, burning Russian flag, burning American flag, burning Union Jack, trans flag is over here, you can see. Well, trans flag, what Reddit is this in? Sorry, excuse me, what Discord is this in? Is this just like the Eurovision Discord? Maybe there are things happening in Eurovision that Discords that we can't even imagine. And yeah, I bet these guys went mental. Oh, this was also another image. This is from r/Democrats. I wonder why the Democrats lost the elections. I don't know. Oh my god, I saw that repugnant GWAM lady, the Ethan Klein employee, doing her like awful advice to politicians. I just want to read you this because this has sat with me a lot. So she was responding to Daria Lisa, of course, someone who's too progressive because she wouldn't watch an Ethan Klein video. I'm happy you're the candidate, but here's how you can actually win as a socialist. Attack your opponent instead of shitting on people whose support you need. Shouldn't be hard, as ours are way worse on climate. You know that, right? A wild approach, but promise it works. No, it doesn't. It absolutely does not. The US, the Democrats in the US have lost 2 elections of shitting on Trump. Like they've lost two elections doing this, right? Yeah, this subreddit was created by Ethan Klein posting this is the kind of stuff an Ethan Klein fan would go mental for this. But yeah, I don't really get it. I really don't get it. Like, how this person is kind of telling people that the idea is just attacking your opponent and that wins elections. No, it doesn't. And if you just win the election without making change, if you're just like, yep, I love all the people around me, is that really worth it? I don't know. The more actual anti-Semitism, the more people want to flee to Israel, and the more they justify themselves. It's twisted. You know what, though? I think that is true, but I think the way more important thing about anti-Semitism is using it as a means to crush pro-Palestinian speech. To crush pro-Palestinian speech, I think, is the whole point of it. But yeah, I don't know as well. Like, I just don't really see why shitting on your opponents is just like all you should do. Dems deserve criticism, but from a human behavior and marketing standpoint, how people interpret your message is as important as the message. Most Dem voters, whether you like it or not, will see this and hear, this candidate hates me, is judging me. People don't vote for that. So what is more important to you? The DSA talking points or actually winning the chance to make those talking points into policy? Literally begging for you all to be like 15% more likable to Democrats so you might actually win. I don't know about you, but I don't really want to listen to the advice of someone who's still working for Ethan Klein. So what was even the tweet? It's 100 degrees and Democrats are still whispering about climate change. Thankfully, New Yorkers elected public power champions at the state and federal level to take on the fossil fuel industry and protect us from these deadly heat waves. New Yorkers demand climate action and democratic socialists will deliver. I really don't understand. Have you eaten deer? No, I've never had venison. It's just like, I really, I don't understand how that's like a horrible attack on Democrats. I think that that's a completely fair point. By the way, as well, this person just tweeting that, just the thought of this lady sitting there and typing that out, unbelievable. Unbelievable. Just her sat there on a break from the Ethan Klein arse-licking session to just type that nonsense out. Jesus Christ. And yeah, exactly. Like, the DSA are really not like the most radical. Also, by the way, YouTube streaming is becoming increasingly fucking harsh. I had my ad revenue limited for last stream when I didn't do anything outrageous. Anything. Absolutely anything. Did nothing wrong, and I got my ads limited. Didn't like that. Did not enjoy that. Oh. My mouth is itchy. I want a message that communicates your position and policies and can attract voters you wouldn't normally get if you keep your focus on excluding / pushing people away. I forgot Richie Torres was the thing. Wait, what do you mean? And I say that while thinking voting isn't doing anything. I want a message that communicates your position and policies that can attract voters you wouldn't normally get if you kept your focus. I also think that you need to appeal to disaffected people who are not interested, especially young people who are increasingly disaffected when it comes to politics because of nothing changing. And I think that the major issue is yeah, like a lot of people, a lot of these people have done nothing positive to change. Oh my god, fucking Jackson Hinkle's with Professor Morandi. I don't know why Morandi's with him. Oh my god. Sneeko is posting. Sneeko is on Sneeko is on an incredible vibe. He apparently had this as his profile picture. Oh my god, he actually does still. Why has he got a photo of Malcolm X? Why? I need to set this up. Stephen, thank you for the incredibly kind donation. Thank you for supporting the channel. Stephen just sent Stephen in the chat. He just sent me a donation via the PayPal, which is linked on the Twitch. Incredibly kind. Thanks for supporting the channel, mate, as always. Yeah, I know. I was struggling to think of Malcolm X for a second there. He's also been tweeting out stuff like this. Messi is the Netanyahu of football. Because there's that photo of him. He's going off the rails. What? Who? Bassem Youssef or Daniel or Dan Bilzerian? I mean, he was always a bit off the rails. The bit you was like women are ruining families for young men, so the billionaire class are ruining families for economic prosperity, ruining the economic prosperity, so you can't afford a family. Yeah, 100%, 100%. But Ronaldo, I saw in a video of like footballers who are pro-Palestine. They don't like Messi because people have found this photo of Messi visiting. I've seen it before. Messi visited Israel, and there's a photo of him kissing the Western Wall. These are real, by the way. There are real photos of him there. There's Neymar there as well. I think the Barcelona president is like a really big fan of Israel.
A wall kisser. And remember too, the same wall kisser So here, Messi is a wall kisser. And remember, too, this is not just like a random picture on the internet. This is still up from the IDF. Argentina is kind of like well, no disrespect. Are there any Argentinians in the chat? There definitely are. No disrespect, but I hear a lot of allegations. People say that Argentina is the Israel of South America. Same colors, same wall kissing, same FIFA cheating, same rigging the ref. I don't know. I don't know.
Sneeko is a very dumb man. Messi's a weird guy, you know. I like him, and I think he's the best footballer ever. But yeah, like, I think he's the best footballer ever. Like, I like watching him. But yeah, I don't think he's someone who I really want to, like, be getting my political opinions from. Lamine Yamal is actually pro-Palestine, yeah. I wonder what Mbappe is. I guess Mbappe probably doesn't do anything. No, Kylian Mbappe is on reverse canary mission. What does he do? Kylian Mbappe, Mbappe has leveraged his platform for various social causes. Oh, he was just silent. He just hasn't said anything. Unfortunately, I was worried that I was going to hear that like Mbappe had done something like had done something really evil, particularly evil. And yeah, Argentina is a bit of a crazy country. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, they're always up to some crazy stuff. But I'm from the UK, so I shouldn't really speak. I'm still in awe at this image. I'll be thinking about that all day. Ousmane Dembele is a Muslim and probably pro-Palestine. Wesley Fofana is the most pro-Palestine Chelsea player, but unfortunately he's just a piece of shit. Also, I'd never seen this. Apparently there's a video of Sneeko crying at Khamenei's dead.
با سر دادن ندای آسمانی فست و به رب الکعبه به ساحت مقدس الهی واصل گردید.
Okay, he's not crying, he's just praying. He also declared that Islam... He claimed that Islam will be in every household.
This is the Islamic Republic of New Yorkistan. Islam will be in every household, inshallah.
No, I don't think they actually had any specific thing about Mbappe. They literally were just like, he's been silent.
The whole world is Muslim. Welcome to Mamdani's New York. You see this city? You see how it looks? Inshallah, your city looks just like this too.
Who is watching this guy? Like, who is like a big Sneeko fan? Has anyone here ever met someone who like loves Sneeko? Because I can't say I have, but he's on some like crazy stuff these days. Talking about Mamdani Stan. I don't know if he likes Mamdani.
Man.
I've just seen him debating people. He doesn't really know much about Palestine, but maybe he does care. I don't know. I don't know if it's just a grift. I saw Nick Fuentes drop the shtick, and now he's like, he's completely just back to like hating Palestinians. Let's just watch a short clip of Sneeko trying to debate a child.
Oh man.
What do you guys think about Israel?
Well, how old are you?
I'm almost 15.
Okay, well, not all of you were born there. You don't. But the Israeli government's committing a genocide. The UN just admitted that straight up, and now they're going into Lebanon. We want to have peace, and Israel wants to keep bombing Lebanon. So, it's not good.
Don't hate the people of Israel. Like, you can hate the government, but not the people.
Well, you don't know any better. You're 15. You know, you have your whole life, but your government's committing atrocities. Ben Gvir said...
How old are you?
27. Ben Gvir said...
I don't know anything either. I'm 56.
Okay, well, Ben Gvir said all of Lebanon was burned, and the UN just admitted that Israel's committing a genocide. Okay, well, the UN admitted your government's committing a genocide.
The UN admits a lot of things, but they don't go after North Korea. They don't go after the genocide.
What genocide did North Korea commit?
No, North Korea doesn't.
What genocide did they commit?
What about Iran? Iran didn't kill 30,000.
The protesters just admitted that Mike Pompeo, CIA director.
30,000 people killed.
Right.
In
Do
Iran.
you know who the former CIA? You said I don't know anything.
What did the United Nations do about that? Answer my question.
Yeah, they took 3 years for them to admit a genocide. I'm answering your question. Do you want me to respond?
I'm asking you right now about Iran.
Do you want me to respond? Okay, you said the 30,000 protesters, right?
Not the protesters. People
okay, you said
murdered.
The 30,000.
By the way, less and less. It's kind of, as the internet has opened up in Iran, there hasn't been like a massive surge of information about this, which, you know, you kind of would have expected. I still don't doubt that the Islamic Republic killed a lot of people, and that is just as bad, and it's not okay, and it's not acceptable. But simultaneously, the amount of lies told about this is just kind of insane. Also, I don't really care how old someone is. I don't think it really factors into it. You meet babies are stupid, but sometimes you meet young people who are smart.
1,000 people, right? Nope. You want me to respond? No, you want me to respond? First off, they did. Trump and Marco Rubio said nonstop about this. Okay, listen, you said I don't know anything. The former CIA director, Mike Pompeo, said himself that CIA Mossad infiltrated those protests and started firebombing specifically to cause chaos.
Also, Israelis killed Iranians in Iran?
I said,
is that what you're saying?
CIA director said...
No, I'm saying, forget what he said. What do you think?
I'm saying the former CIA director...
What do you think?
I think absolutely. And there has been no pictures of the bodies. There's been no names. First it was 30,000, then they're saying 40,000. Laura Loomer's now saying 100,000. How many people is it?
I feel sorry for you.
I feel sorry that you're committing a genocide. I feel sorry for the people.
Am I doing anything?
Well, your government, or your country, your nation.
Am I committing anything?
Well, you're benefiting off of the genocide that's committed right now.
How am I benefiting?
Do you live in Israel?
Yeah, I live in Israel.
So what are you doing here?
I'm visiting here.
Okay, well, have a great visit. But they say you're our greatest ally. You provide us nothing. We give you troops. Iraq War, for example, we have the Marine Corps right here.
One individual person.
Okay, Israelis.
Unfortunately, you've been brainwashed.
Brainwashed by what, Hamas?
God, okay, right. I don't need to hear any more of Sneeko talking to some fucking Israel idiot character. Bad people rely on religion to soften their image. Lemon Mintcat, thank you for the $2. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Do you think that's what Sneeko's doing? Like, I mean, I don't think he's really changed. I don't think he's like a really, really great guy. I don't have a lot of faith in him. But yeah, I'm just kind of just perplexed by why he's. I'm perplexed by all of the things happening in our world. All of the things happening in our world. No politique here. Yep. I think he's rage baiting. I mean, with the stuff of saying, yeah, we're taking over your country. Yeah, I think so. Cannot claim to be of that religion. I think maybe if you're doing it online. Do you remember when... I remember when Andrew Tate was doing the whole fake Muslim thing, and I had a couple of people who'd, like, message me and say, no. Andrew Tate is a Muslim. You shouldn't judge him. It was so obvious that Andrew Tate was never a Muslim. Sneeko is occasionally, like, eating pork, and I think he drank one time, but, you know, I don't know, just an odd one. Yeah, I think Sneeko just does whatever. I'm also... One thing I want to talk about, though, that's more important to me is Taylor Swift got married. Did any of you see this? Taylor Swift got fucking married. I was actually, I was actually interested in this. It was amazing. Jesus, I'm muting that in case I get demonetized for listening to this man. It is incredible. It is incredible that this is like what people choose to do with their day. To go and stand nearby. Brian had a good response. Sometimes I feel like cattle because I love to drink beer and watch sports. But this is a sub-cattle behavior. What are you guys even getting out of this? Taylor Swift's popularity is a real indicator in how stupid this country is becoming. I don't really care about Taylor Swift's music. I like Love Story. That's a banger. But I don't really care for Taylor Swift much. It is crazy that there are so many people who want to go to this who just like absolutely adore this kind of stuff. And how much like people just love this. Oh my God! Someone is saying that the catering company for Taylor Swift is handing out wedding desserts.
Oh my God! Oh my God, guys! We're having Taylor Swift dessert!
Okay, this has to be a bit. There is no way this is real. There is no way that this is real. There is actually no way that this is a real thing, that this guy is that excited. No! No!
I'm so excited! Oh my god! May I please have it off?
It is actually incredible that, like, when you think about events like this, you know, it's kind of like when Khamenei returns to Iran after the revolution for the first time, and there were, like, millions of people in the street. You know, there were so many millions of people that Khamenei came back in a car and he had to get helicoptered. It is actually one of the most incredible images. I'm sure some of you have seen them. Like this one here. This is the most famous one. Hold on, I'm just checking it doesn't do any funny business. Look at that. Khamenei just see a sea of people wanting to see him. Like millions and millions of people wanted to see this man. He's being ironic. What, that man? That man was being ironic? Drunk at the Taylor Swift fan meetup. I don't know. Someone referred to this as, this is peasant mentality. Someone said that this was the most similar we've ever been to seeing what peasants would have been like when they saw their king. And I think it's probably true. I also thought, I didn't realize her boyfriend was called Travis Kelce. I always thought he was called Travis Kels because his name's spelt that way. This is literally Chris when he goes live on YouTube. That's what you guys are like. That's what you guys are going to be like when I come to New York. You're going to be excited because I give you a bit of like a Jaffa cake or some kind of British snack. And you guys are going to be going like mental for it. You're going to be like, oh my God, I'm eating the Chris Kunstler Jaffa cake. Also, people have pointed out there are quite a few Zionists there, which doesn't really surprise me. I'm going to be frank. Adam Sandler officiated her wedding. I was also really enjoying, because I don't know anything about these people, right? So I was reading the BBC article on this. BBC Taylor Swift wedding. Hold on. Oh my God, fucking hell. Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. What we know about Taylor Swift's wedding. Okay. So, Madison Square Garden. So, they reckoned here that they might have actually rented the venue and chosen to get married at Madison Square Garden because there's some old Sandler film where his character in Mr. Deeds proposes at the venue, which is like, if that's true, if that is true, if that's real, my God, if that is real, oof. She is best friends with the Hadids. So is she so pro-Palestine? Is she best friends with the Hadids? Mohammed Hadid was one of the first like big people who ever shared my content, but he's posting some pretty crazy stuff, to be honest. I don't know, but yeah, this is probably who are the biggest fans of Adam Sandler's content or comedy. Has Adam Sandler got any good films? Is he in Dodgeball? Is that him? Dodgeball's fine. They shut down more city blocks than when Trump visited. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. I don't know. This is just, there is a whole world of stuff out there. Like, this is so not for me. And like, to each their own. But like, oh my God. And
the American football star Travis Kelce are officially married. When news came of the wedding, our reporter Floyd Cush swiftly got himself to New York, and we are able to go live to Floyd now, who is outside Madison Square Garden for us, what has become a rather damp
Ben Stiller's Dodgeball, okay.
Madison Square Garden just in the last few minutes. Floyd, bring us up to speed. What's been happening?
Okay, I'm not particularly interested. I was hoping they were going to show some of like the scenes from actual New York. I didn't even know Travis Kelce had a podcast.
It is the wedding.
I didn't know he had a podcast.
Everyone's been talking about Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce's very own love story. A celebrity couple no strangers to an arena, becoming officially married at the world's most famous, New York's Madison Square Garden.
Do you get it? Because it's like Justin and Taylor, so it's Justin T.
A celebration full of secrecy.
Oh, Uncut Gems is actually good. Uncut Gems is a pretty good film.
And suspense. But still, showbiz, through and through. There are no photos yet, but the pair were both dressed in Dior.
You!
The cameras caught a few famous faces.
Jason!
But with privacy paramount here, tinted vehicle after...
Ethan Hawke really winds me up because I quite enjoyed the Before trilogy. I thought it was pretty good, the Before films. But whenever he starts talking about politics, when you hear him in real life, oof.
A tinted vehicle turned up, heading for a tent which disguised a star-studded celebrity guest list, some 1,000 people strong. The ceremony was officiated by their friend and actor Adam Sandler. No bridesmaids nor groomsmen, instead their brothers both played pivotal parts. Swift's her man of honour and Kelce's his best man. And yet from the outside there was very little to see. The sweltering conditions, not enough...
That definitely was not Matt Damon, that was Ethan Hawke.
...to stop Swifties and spectators lining the streets.
I came because I've been waiting like 20 years for this day, like everybody else, so I'm really excited.
Oh, I'm sorry, like to each their own and like your things, but oh my god. Why have you waited for 20 years for Taylor Swift to get married? There are so many more important things in the world than Taylor Swift marrying Travis Kelce. Ooh.
You're calling on the megaphone. You need to calm down. Why do you gotta be so mean?
She finally found her love. Yeah, so we're very happy for her.
For the fans, well, they will still be hoping for more. No room for any blank spaces.
I hate that.
Dress, the details, the dance. This was just the beginning. Molly Malone, Sky News.
It's actually mental. This is mental to me. Yeah, I don't know. I really don't know. Taylor Swift wedding. Oh my god.
Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce saying yes in the most anticipated celebrity wedding of the year. A just married sign with TNT lighting up Madison Square Garden to mark the occasion.
Oh my, Tom, I gotta show you this, Tom. Look at that sign up there.
We were live on NBC News Now when we noticed the sign unexpectedly changed.
I'm actually a little bit speechless right now.
In a statement, Swift's rep telling NBC News the ceremony was officiated by the couple's friend, comedian Adam Sandler, adding Taylor and Travis did not have bridesmaids or honor, and Jason Kelce was Travis's best man. The pair donning Christian Dior haute couture for the ceremony.
It is incredible to think how so many of those people on the street probably work minimum wage jobs or like don't get paid that much money. And the biggest thing in their life, the biggest concern that they have and the biggest thing that people obsess over is Taylor Swift getting married.
The big day arriving after months of anticipation.
Oh my god! And they're like uploading videos, like saying like this is Taylor wedding day.
I drove all the way from Indiana to see this wedding, and we were black.
Yeah, you're waiting for me to get married. Yeah. This is This is gonna be, I hope when I get married, they, like, do this.
Lasting love story.
The pop superstar in NFL grades celebrating with over 1,000 friends and family, according to an internal police memo. The guest list packed with A-listers, including Hugh Grant, Ethan Hawke, and Jason Sudeikis.
I told you that was Jason Sudeikis.
Walking into the venue. Carly Kloss, Camila Cabello, and Bradley Cooper also seen dressed to the nines. There was a massive police presence as a steady stream of tinted black SUVs arrived at Madison Square Garden. A source invited to the event telling NBC News guests were sent non-disclosure agreements along with the electronic invites. The party of the decade lasting into the wee hours of the night.
Okay, I'm definitely
on the
demonetized.
Celebrations, the iconic Empire State Building lit up in a lavender haze.
Okay, so as for what's next, well, it does not seem like a big honeymoon getaway is in the couple's near or at least immediate future, but rather attending another star-studded wedding. Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce are expected to go to his former teammate Juju Smith-Schuster's wedding in California, sources tell TMZ. As for MSG, while we know there was a no-phones policy from sources, something tells me Taylor Swift will eventually have something to share. You guys know I don't have to tell you. My eyes are peeled for it.
Something tells me you're right. Emily Aketa outside.
Incredible. Incredible. You must understand that there is a world outside, something that you will never understand. That there are things that are happening that you will never, ever, ever even be able to comprehend. That you will never, ever be able to grasp or understand the mindset of the people who are there. Elephant Fish, thank you for the 50 NOK. Thank you for supporting the channel as always. It's always appreciated. Taylor Swift's marriage, get some bloody perspective. No sacrifice too great. Yeah, when it comes to her, if this is you trying to make me hate the US even more, it's working. I don't know. I guess it's just because it's like, I guess for me, it's like, kind of interesting that there is this whole thing out there, and as I say, like, to each their own, okay, but the fact that there are so many people who just sit there and like wait for this, who this is such a big part of their life that they think about this non-stop, is crazy to me. I'll never get it. There are so many other things in the world that are happening that are just, that are just like way more important than this. But yeah. I don't know. I genuinely don't know. The British do this for the royals. Yeah, I know, and it's fucking lame when they do it for the royals. It is insane. But yeah, I guess we'll move on to more important news. Yesterday was Ali Khamenei's funeral, or the day before.
The coffin.
Yeah, Taylor Swift is a feminist, and we should all remember that.
One of Iran's late supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, is on display at his funeral ceremony in Tehran. Alongside him are the coffins of his 3-year-old granddaughter, his eldest daughter, son-in-law, and daughter-in-law. Khamenei and his family were killed in a joint US-Israeli strike in February. Political and diplomatic figures from outside Iran are expected to attend. The public ceremony will start on Saturday in the capital, followed by a procession through holy cities in Iraq and Iran. He'll be buried in his birthplace of Mashhad. The funeral was scheduled for March, but it was delayed due to the war on Iran. We're going to bring in Abbas Aslani. He's a senior research fellow.
It is kind of crazy how emotional Iranian politics has always been. Like, I don't think you'd see... Were there many American politicians crying at Charlie Kirk's funeral, if any?
Fellow at the Center for Middle East Strategic Studies, and he's joining us from Tehran. Thank you very much indeed for being with us. A significant event in Tehran's history. At the same time, do you think that Iran will be hopeful that this will send some sort of message around the world?
Well, Rob, I was coming to the studio. I saw in the city that there were preparations underway, and the city is expecting a huge amount of people from the city itself or other cities across the country will be coming to the capital city, and the funeral and farewell ceremony.
Yeah, they literally, by the way, they used to think Mossadegh was a weak politician because he used to cry and like have quite emotional outbursts, but it was apparently, according to Fawaz Gerges, like much more a part of their politics. Oh, also, apparently Sacha Baron Cohen was at the wedding.
Is expected to be somehow witnessing a huge population here, and foreign dignitaries and officials are now paying tribute to the late leader of Iran. This is somehow, following the recent war against the country, could send a signal and a message to the outside the country that the man who was the architect of the defense against the two powerful armies in the world now is receiving this farewell, and his funeral ceremony is being held, and this could somehow yet again could unite the country, because many people from different factions and walks of lives are going to attend that ceremony. And at the time that the country is engaging in the negotiations with the United States, as well as living behind the war, this could somehow create that sense of unity which is yet needed in the country, because the shadow of the war has not been removed from above the country, and in future this unity is needed. So that's why this could again feel that sense and the rally around the flag in the country.
One could perhaps understand a country feeling some sort of unity.
It definitely is like the end of an era, though. Like the death and the funeral of Ali Khamenei. It does feel like a major change, that something different is afoot. That everything has changed, really. Kind of crazy. I am yeah. It's just really surprising. I don't know. It's just been a crazy year, really, so far. So much has happened. Khamenei died, and there's now a whole new leadership in Iran. I don't know. Khamenei was really part of like a final old guard, right? He was an interesting character, to be fair. He actually opposed the Salman Rushdie fatwa. I didn't know if you guys know that. I don't think Ethan Klein cried for Charlie. He cried for himself while comparing how hard his life is to Charlie's.
Unity at a major event like...
Let people enjoy things doesn't extend to billionaires. Are you talking about Taylor Swift, or... I'm not talking about her enjoying herself. I'm talking about other people. Like people like Monolithic, I'd really expect better from this chat. What about Taylor? What about Taylor do you not expect? There were quite a lot of foul people at her wedding, and I don't think Taylor Swift is someone who I really know that much about. What do you mean?
Like this would possibly happen in many countries around the world at the same time. How likely is it, do you think, that sense of unity will last? It wasn't that long ago, before the war, that we did see, of course, large-scale protests.
Iranian politics will be quite interesting, but it does seem pretty evident that the faction who are like, nah, we need to do confrontation, have much more power now. I don't agree with her capitalism shit, but most of her network is because of the value of her music, the music. Is it? I don't know how Taylor Swift is so rich. I don't know why. I don't know.
In Iran.
I don't know how she became a billionaire, but I assume that a lot of it was through selling merch as well.
Particularly over the economy.
In the wake of the recent aggression, one of the things that could somehow, in addition to Iran's missile...
Oh, mediocre. Thank you for the 4 months. Thank you for supporting the channel as always. Yeah, I don't care for Taylor Swift so much. I'll be honest, and I don't really think it's great that she's a billionaire. I don't think it's great that anyone's a billionaire. I just don't think you need that much money. I really don't, and I think that you can do such positive things with that money, and most people who have that kind of money choose not to do positive things with it because they just like accumulating more and more wealth, even though it is literally pointless. There is no point in being a billionaire. There's nothing you can do with it that's special.
Power that guaranteed the survival of the system and the country was this unity and even presence of the people across different streets or squares, condemning the aggression and supporting the government. And currently people are more than ever are feeling that threat against the country. Their perception of external threat has been strengthened. So that's why they also need that the security is that their top most priority, and without that security, economy cannot also be improving. And depending on the situation, how the government acts, I think this unity more or less can continue, and this is something can also work as a driving force for let's say the negotiating team to be able to secure the interests at the negotiating table, or also they can continue to somehow make sure that in the case of any, let's say, new developments or any crisis, this unity or this, let's say, public support can work as a, let's say, influential factor in.
Okay, we'll switch to some other stuff about Khamenei's funeral, because it was absolutely massive. I was hoping they were going to show, like, full footage of it, but they're not going to. But I will say, something that I'm very interested as a side plot of this is, for some reason, Jackson Hinkle was there, and he was, like, tensing in front of a big image of Khamenei. By the way, this building's beautiful. I don't know what it is specifically, but just flexing in front of the taking your new Tinder pic at the Khamenei funeral. But yeah, Jackson Hinkle has been posting non-fucking stop about the funeral, and then he's posting some Russia related stuff. I don't know if these are all his photos. Oh no, that's Max Blumenthal, who's also there. What's he saying? I've just visited the largest funeral in history, where millions mourned Sayyid Ali Khamenei, the Iranian leader who was assassinated by the US-Israeli coalition. Is that even true? Who had the largest funeral in... Would NASA? Actually, apparently it's this guy who I don't know. I'm not familiar with him. I don't know who he is. That building is new masjid that Islamic Republic built for Friday Prayer in Tehran. Oh, thank you. Thank you for letting me know. Always great to get reports coming straight out of the Iranians. But yeah, apparently Qasem Soleimani's funeral was the second largest in history. So maybe Ali Khamenei's is even bigger. I'm just going down these. I assumed NASA's would be really big. NASA's was 3 million people. Jesus. If NASA was alive now, his funeral would be way, 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 way bigger. If NASA had done what he was up to. So, yeah. Jesus. Maybe it is the biggest. It would probably be at least the second biggest. Whoa. Actually, Khomeiни's could technically be the second biggest, so... I wonder how many people attended Mao's funeral. Did Mao have a big funeral? Yeah, only 1 million people went to Mao's funeral. Avaida Yosef, the ultra-Orthodox, probably a Shas rabbi, Sephardi rabbi. Actually, he would be yeah, Shas or United Torah. No, Shas, he'd be a Shas rabbi. Wow, that's up there. King Hussein of Jordan, Pierre Gemayel, Bashir Gemayel, I wonder if he's there. Queen Elizabeth wasn't even that big. Jesus, no one cares about... More people care about Ali Khamenei, but yeah. There's been a lot of Barbara Pitt today, Marcus. There's been a lack of Barbara Pitt. That is true. That is true. You've barely mentioned Barbara Pitt today. Yeah, I'm just looking through. He's just been posting huge amounts of...
Right now, there are millions.
Jackson Hinkle seems to be loving
Here
this.
in Iran right now, there are millions of people all around the Tehran Masala to pay their respects to Sayyid Ali Khamenei, whose coffin lays just a few feet away. Iran...
I really, 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 really do want to go to... I really do want to go to Iran. That's like my #1 place to visit, I think.
Is more unified than ever before. They are stronger than ever before. There are millions of people, not just here, but all...
Yeah, Bashir Gemayel is the son whose murder sparked the Sabra and Shatila massacre, excuse me, and his father was Pierre Gemayel, so he founded the so Pierre Gemayel founded the Phalangists that Bashir would later lead.
All across the country, all across the world, who are standing with Iran right now and who are heartbroken and grieving on this very day. We are here in Iran right now.
I really don't think Jackson Hinkle is heartbroken. I'm going to be honest. I don't know what Jackson Hinkle actually feels or cares about, but I actually have no idea. Oh my god, though. Wait, as Jackson Hinkle providing non-stop coverage. Have a look at this building. Oh my word. Imamzadeh Saleh, Tajrish, Tehran. Oh my goodness. What a beautiful building. Wow. Yeah, Samarkand was amazing, but wow. He was talking to Morandi.
We're here at the funeral of Sayyid Ali Khamenei. I want to hear your thoughts on what this massive, massive crowd means to you as an Iranian.
It just once again destroys the Western narrative on Iran, that this is an unpopular and hated regime, as they like to call it, that is incompetent.
By the way, I don't think a large funeral does actually destroy the narrative that there are a lot of discontented people in Iran. That there are lots of people in Iran who aren't happy with the Islamic Republic. I don't think it destroys it. I think it just shows you, though, how there is some kind of difficulty in the sense of how people portray it, of like there is no one in Iran who likes the government has no chance of standing
and incapable of governance. They defeated the aggressor in the war, and in this summer heat they've been coming here since 6 a.m. and people will be coming and going for the next 2 days. In the West, they create this caricature of Iran, and based on that caricature they calculate and they formulate policies, and then ultimately they hit a brick wall, and they don't ask themselves, why do they constantly fail? And the reality is that this is a popular revolution, despite the maximum pressure sanctions, despite the Western-backed insurrections, the Western-funded riots, the war after war after war waged against the...
Isn't it complicated by the fact that he's also I don't know what is even going on and what you're arguing about. Guys, if you want to argue, don't argue in the chat. Can you beat your chest and say, Ya Ali, I want to see if before I die of old age, I'm 22, by the way. You'll have to wait for that. that can be another part of the hitting tooth. When I hit 1,000, I'll do like I'll do a Shura ritual and I'll go to Iran for it. What was I going to say? Isn't it complicated by the fact he's a religious leader? I mean, yeah, kinda. I guess he's also... But the thing is I guess the thing is that, like... I guess that the thing is that when it comes to, like, Khamenei, he wasn't, like, particularly a special of a religious figure in Iran. He didn't even have the same qualifications. And obviously I'm not going to comment on whether Shia Islam is a true form of Islam. Like, what am I supposed to say? Like, it's a religion that, you know, millions of people follow, and I think it's totally their right to follow it. Like, I'm not going to tell people that it's not the correct form of Islam. It's not my place, and nor is it an argument I think is worth having. I think religion is about a personal engagement with God.
Country in the last 47 years, 3 wars were waged against Iran, led by the United States. And Iran has not invaded a country in almost 300 years. These crowds that come and go, they just show how popular he was. And when he was martyred on this first day of the war, we had no leader for like a week, but the people managed the country. Everything was normal. And that just shows how confident the people of Iran were. and how steadfast they were and how powerful and legitimate the state institutions were in the eyes of ordinary Iranians. You know, some people in the West tried to justify their miscalculation and say it was the rallying around the flag effect. No. For 47 years, they've done everything, and they fail. And this is just one failure added to the rest. You don't rally around the flag if you have a regime that is genocidal and evil. I mean, when the Americans invaded
you're definitely wrong about that. What about Israel?
Iraq, they captured Baghdad in like 3 weeks. When they invaded Afghanistan, they took the country very swiftly. But in the case of Iran, they failed to even take a square meter of the country. So it's because the people felt that this is a legitimate state, that the legitimacy of the state in the eyes of ordinary Iranians is very high, and they're willing to make it's so high that they're willing to make sacrifices for it. They're willing to die for their cause, for the Palestinian cause, for the anti-imperialist cause, but you know, and in the West, I think increasingly many people are beginning to see this, but Western elites, they're blind to reality and they'll remain blind.
Professor Morandi,
thank you.
It's an honor to be here with you. I wish it could
be
be under better circumstances.
It will be. There will be better circumstances.
It is such a funny meeting of minds. It is such a funny meeting of minds. These two just meeting up. Just hanging out together. Can you imagine the conversations they were having? Like behind the camera. Wow. He was posting non-stop. Like non-stop. Millions mourn Khamenei in Iran. Yemeni shout death to Israel. Hinkle got that Yemeni connect. Iran mourns martyred leader. Iran rallies against Zionist. Hero. The street is jam-packed with people. The people of Iran demand revenge. Long live Khamenei. Christ, that is a lot of people. Yeah, I think Morandi is kind of fine. As, like, he's a propagandist, 100%. And I think you have to take certain things he says with a grain of salt. But, like, yeah, he's fine. He's a pretty decent analyst, and he's pretty good at speaking to... he's pretty competent at speaking to, like, Western media figures, you know? I think he does pretty well at that. Hinkle is the most random white dude of all time. Hinkle should be British, I'm going to be honest with you. This feels like a very British thing to be up to, like going to the Middle East and kind of just like living out your like little fantasies there. Hinkle should be doing that as a British man. He would be a great representative of the British state. But instead he's America KKKKN. Are you talking to me standing up against like anyone who's like issuing blanket statements? I thought I made it clear as to why I wouldn't do that. I don't issue blanket statements about any religion. Who is Hinkle? Hinkle is like a MAGA guy who loves Russia and he also loves Iran. He's quite an odd guy. He's quite an old guy. And yeah, Morandi was a child soldier during the Iran-Iraq War who was raised in the US. He's such an interesting figure. And no shit, and I'm staying out of it. The most I learned about Islam was mainly from reading The Kite Runner. Did Rashid Khalidi write The Kite Runner? He didn't write The Kite... Did he? That wasn't Rashid Khalidi. I was going to say, I was like, what, did he take a break from writing, like, academic books about Palestine? I think Hinkle is MAGA. Hinkle is a MAGA communist. Yeah, he is a MAGA. There were a lot of people there. It was a great honor to meet one of the greatest patriots One of Iran's greatest patriots, Yasser Jebreli. I do not know who that is. What is going on?
Masala in Iran for the funeral of Syed.
Oh my goodness. I enjoyed this video though. He was handing out, what is this drink? Sharbat? People were saying it was called. What is it? Sharbat. I will say, cloth. Jamid. There is one Iranian delicacy that I have just never been able to get over. Oh, I don't know who he is. Oh, okay, interesting. This stuff is gross. Jamid, this stuff. Oh my god, I'm sorry. I'm sorry to the Iranians out there who are eating kishk or whatever you call it. This stuff is gross. My lecturer sometimes had it. I have a friend who would eat anything. Like, he even eats that horrible Sostromen stuff. Like, he actually likes it. But this stuff, oh my god. This stuff is gross. Ugh. Even thinking about it makes me feel upset. Mila rooting for Mexico. Shut up about Mexico. Stop talking about Mexico. It's not funny. It's not funny. But yeah, I mean, Khamenei's funeral was, it was big. But seemingly it wasn't even potentially as big as Khomeiни's was. I don't think he was quite as special a leader as Khamenei. I love Kit. Really? Do you actually like that? It's like it's like cheese or yogurt that's strained through a specific kind of cloth. Mahdi just gave it a good description of it tastes like chalk and sour. So if you ever want to try sour chalk, I'd highly recommend it. It is just, ugh. Well, I'm sorry. I feel like I'm just being rude, but like that is one of the foods that is just, I don't like it. I don't like the talk of it. I don't like the sound of it. I don't like it at all. My lecturer brought it in, and I was sorely disappointed because most Iranian things are really nice. Although I don't really like I don't like Middle Eastern desserts because so many of them I'm just allergic to. It looks like Channel 4 are actually interviewing people at the funeral, so that's interesting.
From early morning, they headed towards the center of Tehran, the second of 6 days of ceremony and procession to be conducted in front of millions. National...
Oh, God, all of this bloody Mexico discussion.
Mourning for a religious and political leader.
I regret a lot that I didn't come to see the leader when he was alive.
Wait, was I not supporting Muslims by expressing my deep hatred of those, the Jamid? No, I know. That's why I said, as I said, I was disappointed. Like, I don't like that. Like, I love other Iranian. Kebab kubide is fire. Gourmet sabzi is also fire. Like, most Iranian food that I've eaten is so good. That stuff, oof. Not for me. Not for me. I think about it a lot.
I regret that.
Sorry for being Mexican, Chris. Oof. Oof.
A lot. I should have realised much earlier.
After yesterday's indoor ceremony for dignitaries, today was for mass public grief at the Grand Mosala Mosque. Ayatollah Ali Khamenei's coffin displayed above those of his close family.
This is so, like, just as a Westerner, okay, it is so odd to think about. I don't think this kind of stuff happens at, like, the Queen's funeral. It is, like, one of those few things that is like, wow, this is actually just straight up so different.
Including his 14-month-old granddaughter, killed in the same airstrike on the first day of the war. No sign of his son and successor, Mojtaba, believed to be seriously injured in the attack. This, of course, a self-selecting group in a country where just months ago...
Also, whoever was saying earlier that, like, Mojtaba hasn't consolidated power, where the fuck even is he? Where is he? Where is this guy? Like, I know there's reports he was injured, then it was saying that in his leg he was injured, or that he was disfigured. Where is he? Where is this guy?
Others protested against and were killed in their thousands by this same regime. But even among the loyalists, differences, thought to reflect those at play among Iran's leaders on the current negotiations with the United States.
Everyone is upset. We're all grieving the loss of our supreme leader, and with all our strength, we're trying to take revenge for his blood.
Let's put ourselves in the United States' place. It wants certain things.
North Korea ass crying. I don't think it's that. It's part of like Shia. It's like part of like Shia and Iranian culture, like this kind of stuff of being expressive of emotion. Like seriously, it is. Like you literally, this is why they thought Mossadegh was weak and quite weird in Western politics, because he was really emotional and emotive.
We should give some things, otherwise they'll blow up our officials.
In the Strait of Hormuz, tit for
But maybe you're right. Maybe he's hiding from US bombs, but I don't think he would be. I don't think he would be killed at the funeral. I don't know.
Strikes have subsided after last week's escalation, but the same obstacles remain. The UK and France saying their navies will now coordinate with them.
Mojtaba doesn't even have to be present anymore because his spirit lives on through Zoran Mamdani. He doesn't even need to be present anywhere. Zoran is carrying the flame.
Oman to clear mines in its waters without Iranian involvement.
Yep, I actually really agree with you about... By the way, I don't know if people think that I'm just, like, speaking down about Iranian food. I was actually quite clear that I'm like, yeah, I really think Iranian food is fantastic. One of the most impressive things, particularly about Iranian food, is how, when it's good Iranian food, it tastes almost like it's greasy, but without any grease on it. Like, it's really... I don't know if that's quite the right way to describe it, but, like, it just tastes like the nicest food. As I say, I love kebab kubide. Most of the things that you're talking about here are gross English things. Like they're gross. They're gross. I don't like blood sausage. I really don't like well, that's, what do we call that? Black pudding. I think that's grim. I don't like Marmite. I don't like Vegemite. I don't like any of that. But yeah, like I don't quite know how to describe it. If you've ever had like a nice Iranian food, you'll know what I mean. Yeah, there's definitely good English food, but there is a lot of shit Iranian food. Richness. Yeah, maybe richness, but richness is also a quality that you wouldn't want to eat that much of. Not an olive oil culture. Maybe you're right about that. Anthony Bourdain loved Iranian food, God rest his soul. Bahraini food would be similar. Yeah, Bahraini food would be really similar, I'm sure.
Iran warning against any such military movement, that crisis makers would be held accountable. Before the war, the agreed toll...
Actually, you are probably right about that. Not that he was going to be killed there, but that he could be tracked. You are actually completely correct. That sounds much more likely. And you said Zogran Mossadegh. Yeah, that's how the spirit of Ali Khamenei lives on.
Free shipping lanes were in the centre of the strait, where the International Maritime Organization...
Look, also, there is literally, by the way, there is 0.000 chance that Saudi Arabia would bomb Khamenei's funeral. There were Saudi representatives at Khamenei's funeral. I did see a lot of Zionists and like Westoids begging for the killing of begging for like just mass killing of begging for mass killing at the funeral, which is crazy. Yeah.
Organization now believes there are about 80.
No mentioning pistachios, I'm allergic.
Iranian mines. Iran has been demanding traffic use a northern route under its authority, last week twice firing on ships using an alternative southern route hugging the Omani coast. Oman is reported to be proposing a new system of voluntary fees based on another vital shipping lane, the Strait of Malacca, where an independent body collects contributions from countries and institutions to manage the waterway. But Iran has so far insisted on mandatory fees, Saudi Arabia and the US on a full return to pre-war freedom of navigation. President Trump even threatening 5 weeks ago to blow up Oman if it didn't behave on the issue. Last night at a Mount Rushmore warm-up for today's 250th anniversary of independence, he was insisting US power would prevail.
We beat Venezuela in one day, and we knocked the hell out of Iran. They're dying to settle. They want to settle so badly.
Also, I was thinking, you know, you guys were talking about cattle and like Taylor Swift's, like the people who were just there, like making it their whole personality, like going and seeing Taylor Swift's wedding, being like, I've waited for 20 years. I'm gonna be real, if you're here cheering at Donald Trump giving some dog shit speech like this, you are cattle.
We gave him a week off for a funeral because we're nice. True.
It was 1989 when the Islamic Republic of Iran last mourned a leader. Then there was chaos as crowds vied to get close to the body of Ayatollah Khamenei, tearing at his shroud, tipping his body to the ground. By contrast, his successor's funeral has been carefully choreographed, a message to the world that the regime has survived this war and now intends to consolidate, not least through preserving its hold on the Strait of Hormuz.
Harry Fawcett reporting there. Now, joining me now is Sanam Naragi-Andolini, a British-Iranian expert on conflict and mediation. She's also head of the International Civil Society Action Network, which works with...
Speaking of, we've kind of covered this. Let's do Trump's Red Scare stuff. Trump was on a madness yesterday. He was talking about... Wait, do I have this? Here it is. Trump was like talking non-stop about communism. I don't really know why. I mean, it's not really like it's a big threat
Communism.
to the...
There is now a resurgence of... Americans are strong and always ready to stand firm for a good cause. We treasure justice, fairness, family, honesty, and human dignity, unlike societies based on class, clan, or tribe. We see every citizen as an individual, equal under the law and equal under the eyes of the Lord. In America, we speak English because that is the language of our founding, and for 1,000 years, that has been the language of freedom. An American always wants peace and order, but we will never shrink from danger or threat. We will always fight, 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 and win, win, win. We got to do that. Because this is our culture, this is our character. Not every American is all of these things, but every American knows these are the traits that make our country exceptional, and exceptional it is. You do not have to be born here, but...
This whole thing of like, I mean, already, come on. But this whole thing of like him just... this whole thing of him just going like, America is exceptional. It just fits so well. These people view themselves as so fucking special. They literally love to sit there and pretend that they're the oldest democracy, that they're some kind of like special democracy. They are not either of those things. America, how for its first century, women didn't have the right to vote, if I remember correctly. And it like had a system of racial apartheid for a very long time. It enslaved people. During the Revolutionary War as well, people in certain states were given land and slaves for fighting in the Revolutionary War against the British. So like when they sit here and give these triumphalist speeches about how glorious their history is and what it means to be an American, it's kind of mad to me.
You do have to love what we have built. You must love our country. There has never been anything like us anywhere on earth, and we are not going to let anyone take that away. Yet as we approach this magnificent anniversary, we see our American identity under a renewed attack. A generation after we fought and won the Cold War against the menace of communism, there is now a resurgence of the communist menace in our land, including from newcomers to our country who embrace ideas totally opposed to our way of life and our great success. These are not mere political disagreements like differences over taxes or regulations. Communism is a mortal threat to American liberty. It is the greatest threat to our country, including World War I, World War II, Pearl Harbor, or even 9/11. We're not going to let this happen to us. Believe me, we're not letting it happen.
His messaging is all really confusing because doesn't he love like the figurehead of this like apparent new communist movement because of he loves like Mamdani, right? Who's like the figurehead of this new communist movement. And it's just, I don't know. To me, this is all fucking crazy. To me, this is crazy. It's kind of crazy as well how much this thrives, how much of a reaction this gets when, like, an actual communist threat is just not real. And yeah, I also love comparing, like, World War II and World War I to 9/11. The two don't feel very similar. I mean, like, one of those was, like, an actual major threat to the entire world. But, like, yeah, talking about a communist threat feels kind of mental.
Because communism is the enemy of free people everywhere in the world. Never works. It's the enemy of the Constitution. Above all, it's the enemy of July 4th, 1776. It is the enemy indeed. Even while the radicals and extremists attack our incredible history at every turn, they are silent on the miserable history of communism itself because it never worked. Thousands of years, if you look at it, under different names, under somewhat different ideologies and systems. That system has led to more death and destruction than any system ever tried. It killed 100 million people just in the last century alone. Communism is the exact opposite of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. It's death, tyranny, and the pursuit of evil. The guy.
I am really amazed by the notion that communism has existed and failed for thousands of years. That's kind of definitely an interesting one. But this guy being like that it's the opposite of these things. Obviously, we live in an increasingly tyrannical society in America, particularly in the case of his administration. It's just outrageous.
Godless communist morality states that anything is justified to bring about inhuman visions and to really propose what's good. They don't want good. They don't love God, and they don't want God. They don't love religion, and they don't want religion, and they won't have it. But we will not let them win. They have no chance against us.
It's also kind of crazy, this whole thing of, like, the God-related stuff. This guy is an irreligious freak. Like, his stuff is such an affront to God as well, in the sense of, like, pretending that you're Christ, like, depicting yourself as Christ is 100% the kind of thing that the Antichrist would get up to. This notion that you're a lover of God, pursuing good in the world, it's not really congruent with his actual behavior and what he does. So that's certainly an interesting one. Also, I just realized something. If fucking England lose, this chat is just going to be hellish tomorrow.
They have no respect for law, justice, principle, tradition, or your God-given rights. It's an ideology of mass theft, mass control, mass lies, and mass murder. Such doctrines can be given no quarter in a democracy because the first thing they do when they get into power is turn around and destroy it. It always is destroyed. just as communists have done in other countries all over the world, no matter where you look. Very simply, communism represents the worst ideas and abuses in history by the worst people. The American founding represents the best ideas and traditions in history by the best people like you. You can be loyal to Karl Marx, or you can be loyal to America. You can be a communist, or you can be a patriot. You cannot be both. As for those who peddle Marxist lies about our heritage, or tell our children that we live on stolen land, or that our heroes were oppressors, they're doing something much worse than slandering our past. They are slandering and attacking our future. Not going to let that happen. They're trying to tear down the great American character, to destroy the people who declared independence, who crossed the Delaware, who settled the West, and who conquered the skies. You know who those people are. But we will never let that happen. Our American ancestors did not shed their blood.
God, I can't believe this. I just can't believe that this is real. It is also kind of crazy how, as communism isn't a threat, that they're just still talking about it. That they're still making out as if communism is the major threat to American life. It's obviously not. The people coming up are not really communists. They're not at all. But the problem is obviously they're scared of it because life and existence in our societies is just getting worse and worse and worse, and so people will start looking to radical solutions. You know, in Germany before the Nazis rose up, the communists also did pretty well in elections, you know, for pretty obvious reasons, because the country was fucked. But then unfortunately the government chose who to collaborate with, and the collaborators were Nazis.
At Concord and Trenton, Gettysburg and Shiloh, Midway and Normandy.
Yeah, but I guess if you want to read into this, maybe this is the definitive end of the never-ending war against Iran, and trying to shift the public away from that and being like, yeah, Islamism of Iran's not the big enemy, it's communism. But I wouldn't read too much into that. Quite possibly they just keep ending up doing that same thing.
Just so that a band of thieves, radicals, and lunatics could come in and loot, pillage our nation.
The only thing I've been thinking about, and the only thing I've been wondering is, in response to this, Marcus, about like those people de-radicalizing. I definitely think there's a thing, and I do worry, and it remains to be seen how those people behave in actual power. Not talking about Brad Lander here, obviously. But one thing I do wonder is, like, what is the alternative in America? Like, what is being built? Because a lot of these people are ones doing community organizing anyway.
Heroes died to win, build, and to save, and to build truly a great country, the greatest country ever in the world. So on the eve of this 250th anniversary of American heritage, we resolve and swear for all to hear that the citizens of the United States of America will vanquish communism quickly. Don't let them take too much of your time. You know they're wasting your time, don't you?
It's kind of incredible to say that communists are wasting your time, but yeah. True. Definitely about how Obama, AOC, and Rashida Tlaib has been better, right? Of the squad. I guess I haven't followed everything, but she seemed particularly better on Palestine and more willing to actually, like, talk about it, make a stand, and take much more reasonable positions than, say, someone like AOC.
But we're not going to let them take too long or too much of our time as they play their games and send them into exile. We will send them quickly away, and we will continue to build our country bigger and better and stronger than ever before. America will never be a communist country.
She condemns the resistance. In that one, I don't. Obviously, there's free speech in America. but I don't know what would happen if you didn't as an American politician. And I do think that maybe there is an excuse for that. I don't know. Just because as an American politician, you're kind of not allowed to do that. I don't know. I know you have free speech over there, so it's different. I may not like the British left too much, but at least the leftists in Britain are detaching from the Liberal parties. Yeah, I also think, though, there is actually more plausibility of that happening here, right? Like, in America, the political parties are very different, right? She could just stay silent. Yeah, but you're gonna be asked, if you know what I mean. You're gonna be asked, if you know what I mean. But you're not allowed to do that because you're beholden to the Democratic Party. That is true as well. I don't know if it's the same as here, though, like, where you just would not be able to be a politician if you did that. Like, would you be arrested? Would you be, like, would the FBI get involved with you? I don't know. Is there, like, any law around that as an elected official? Oh, God. La boo-boo. Qatari Oiler, thank you for the $2. Today Qatar Qatar says Viva Mexico, boo the Brits. I need that Qatari oil money, so I got to agree with it. But yeah, thank you, Qatar. No, thank you, man. Thank you for the donation. I hope not, but we'll see. There is no whip in the US. True. There isn't. But in the UK, you just literally, you could not say that. That's like legally, you cannot say that. Was good on Palestine, but the system has turned him into a liberal Zionist. He's definitely done some disappointing things. Definitely. What was the quote he gave the other day? Theoretically, no, but in practice, yes. In America, he could have stood on his values. He sold out. What did he say the other day? Let's have a look. No, that's not him. That's a completely different person. Where's that clip of him talking about Israel?
And the idea of a Jewish state, Israel is a Jewish state, that's in the charter. That's the way. Being American. And the idea of a Jewish state, Israel is a Jewish state, that's in the charter. That's the way it is now. Do you support that?
I've said time and again that I support the state of Israel as a state with equal rights. I believe that any state that preferences...
But as a Jewish state is the question.
I think any state that privileges one religion over the other is one that I can't tell you I support, whether it be Israel or Saudi Arabia or anywhere else.
Okay, great. Thanks for this one. Thanks for showing me that he was at the Pakistan celebrations. I suppose the only smart thing about what he's saying here is that, like, Israel with equal rights doesn't exist. Like, Israel cannot be a Jewish state if it exists. It's unclear if he's a liberal Zionist or an anti-Zionist. It's a very diplomatic answer. It's a very diplomatic answer, I will say. But, like, fundamentally, that is the problem with Israel, that it's a Jewish state built on Palestinian land. That it's a Jewish state. That's it. I think he's previously said no state has a right to exist.
And again, that I support...
That's the order. That's the way it is now. Do you support that?
I've said time and again that I support the state of Israel as a state with equal rights. I believe that any state that preferences...
But as a Jewish state is the question.
I think any state that privileges one religion over the other is one that I can't tell you I support, whether it be Israel or...
Oh. He's still trying to appeal to liberal Zionists by saying it has a right to exist. Yeah, maybe. But maybe you're right about that. I don't know. I don't view this answer as, like, horrendous. I don't think it's, like, a terrible answer. It's fine. It's, like, maybe not perfect, but it's fine. I guess it's just a disappointment from what he was like a year ago. Which is what you're saying. When you look at Mamdani's speeches years ago, he used to be way more aggressive on Israel. let's have a look. I wonder if I can find one easily. Let's have a look at him on The View. Let's have a look at him on The View. Let's have a watch of this. It's important to know what radical communists are up to.
Running for mayor of New York and not prime minister of Israel, but you've made inflammatory statements like calling Israel an
As a state with equal rights, though, Israel doesn't exist. That's the major issue.
Apartheid state and questioning its right to exist as a Jewish state. Just this week, you were evasive with a reporter about condemning Hamas.
But you are right. Like, Israel doesn't have a right to exist. Like, that should be the answer to the question.
Given New York has the largest Jewish population outside of Israel, why should voters who see this as a moral red line trust your clarity and judgment?
Well, I really appreciate this question and an opportunity to just clear up, I think, a number of misconceptions. You know, first and foremost, you're right. I am running to be the mayor of the city, and this city will be the focus of my administration, ensuring that we make this a city everyone can afford and everyone knows that they belong to. And also, millions of New Yorkers, myself included, care deeply about what's happening in Israel and Palestine. And so to be very, very clear, of course I condemn Hamas. Of course I've called October 7th what it was, which is a horrific war crime. And of course, my belief in a universality in international law is also the same set of beliefs that have led me to describe what's happening in Gaza as a genocide. Because what we see... What we see is a...
Like, I don't think it's great talking like that, but I can understand why as a politician trying to win an election that you don't say that. But then I guess it's the capitulation later on other things is where the problem lies.
A war crime being answered with war crimes. And what we see is every single hour the Israeli military killing a Palestinian child for close to 2 years. And it's a horror that many New Yorkers feel so deeply.
I'm not surprised he's condemning that, by the way. I'm really not surprised he's condemning that just from a point of trying to win an election. It's more disappointing that he's not upheld other things. This was October. This was October 9 months ago, so he hadn't won? Or had he won? I don't remember when he won.
And my job, I can't stop that as the mayor of the city. I can make clear my own values, my own commitments. And it is a value and a commitment to humanity, to safety, to justice for all people that extends to everyone, Israelis, Palestinians, and everyone else across the world.
And recognizing that people do disagree with you.
Absolutely.
I am one of those people on some of these points.
Absolutely. So. And that you're disagreeing with me doesn't mean that you shouldn't be in this city or you shouldn't be celebrated and part of.
Winning the election is the point of why he's talking like this, though. That's like that's why he's talking like this. That's why he talks like this. It's also to maintain it. Obviously, in New York, it's going to be very hard to be it. It's going to be very, very, very hard to be the mayor of New York if you're just straight up like, I fucking love Hamas. It's also literally illegal in my country, so you'll never, ever, ever find any politician doing that. And I think that, like, I would rather that even if he was saying this, he spoke about the history of why it happened, and to say, like, this happened as a result of how Israel is behaving. What I tend to find more disappointing are perhaps their actions afterwards.
Of the city that I'm trying to lead. And I think that's the other part of growing up as a New Yorker, learning that disagreement and difference is part of what it means to be here. And I want to be a mayor, not just for the people who voted for me, not just for the people who agree with me, but every New Yorker. And that means...
Wait. Okay, of the other things, sorry, when did he defend Epstein files? Sorry? And what did he manufacture consent for specifically? What did he manufacture consent for? The Jessica Tisch stuff sucks. The Chabad stuff sucks. Endorsing Hakeem Bradlander sucks. Definitely.
That if a New Yorker disagrees with me about Israel, I'm still fighting for them to make sure that they can afford this city, be safe in this city, and see the city as their home.
Well, so one of the things that I've heard you talk about is making the city affordable for everybody, and that you're going to, for the tax on people who make over $1 million or whatever. But what I want to know
With an
is...
exception for Joy.
Think again, my friend. But listen, on day one, why aren't you going to big corporations like Amazon and Google and making sure that they pay what could really help the city raise up and get us where we need to do? Because I need to hear somebody say, because it's the thing nobody says. They say, oh, we're going to make people pay, but they're not clear. They came in, they said, we're going to make these jobs, people are going to have these, they're going to have work. But then they had to fight to unionize because they're not getting paid enough.
Absolutely.
So,
right. He manufactured consent for interventions in Venezuela and Cuba, for one. That is probably... What did he say? He said that they're dictators, right? Maduro was like... Maduro was not democratically elected, unlike Chavez. And Maduro was nowhere near as popular as Chavez, but obviously still no right to intervene at all.
I don't understand why the focus, if the focus is for New Yorkers to be lifted, and New York State to be lifted and put in the right perspective, why the focus isn't on the companies that could be doing a lot more for the places have their places, but it doesn't happen.
Instead of the individual, or including the individual tax base. You mean corporations should...
As I said, Amazon and Google.
I'm just trying to find old... I'm just trying to find old videos of Zoran. Zoran, old video, Palestine. I want to see how his rhetoric has changed on Palestine.
Are we ready?
Sorry, I'm just interested in this title. Mamdani fervently shouting about Denim's lawsuit video just dropped. We'll watch that in a second. Oh my gosh, this looks exciting. That looks exciting. Sorry, I'm so intrigued by this of saying Mamdani fervently shouting about defunding Israel.
Ready to end New York State's subsidy of settler crimes? Yes! Are we ready to say not on our dime? When I grew up in this city, I grew up hearing a term of progressive accept Palestine. I grew up hearing that it was normal to hold an inconsistency only when it applied to Palestinians. I saw the politicians that I admired speak of universal rights and then draw the line right when it came to Palestinians.
I love burgers! Oh, as a social communist, thank you for the 2 months subscribe with Prime. I always appreciate people supporting the channel. Thank you so much.
And I was told that that is simply how it is. It's how...
Also, politics, you occasionally say stuff that is like really, really, really clever and insightful. Palestine is now palatable is I kind of get it. It's not one of your best politics. That's what I'm saying. I've only just got it then. Okay, I get it now. Thank you.
How it has been, and it's how it will be. And when I decided to run for office,
well, when you say this is who he used to be, the only thing is like, I'm sure that there are other videos, but this one's just commenting about settlers. Like, it's not even like commenting about Israel as a whole, it would seem.
I was told
I guess he is talking progressive except for Palestine and how universal values matter.
To keep my thoughts on Palestine to myself if I wanted to win. I want to make it clear. I spoke every day to my constituents about the need for us to stand up in a consistent manner for justice for every single person, whether they are in Astoria or in Palestine. Can I hear you guys say not on our dime with me? Not on our dime!
This is fervent shouting from Mamdani. I'm just trying to find his... Okay,
You are told by well-meaning individuals that the more you want to accomplish, the less you should speak about Palestine. And for me, what made it central to my identity...
Okay, this has music on, but that's quite a tough start. Oh, God, I wish I could listen to this. This is why one day I want to be able to do this without having to run adverts and putting up with YouTube just demonetizing every stream that they can get their hands on. And, like, people just sending things that might be fake. But when he just says that there...
Well-meaning individuals that the more you want to accomplish the immigrant community. And this is one of those avenues.
Fucking hell, why's it got music on? Ugh. Motherfucker. If you review the Denims video, yeah, great point. Reacting to Denim's new video, Khamenei's move. Yeah, I'll put that in the title. Smart. Joe Badlander, so not on our dime is gone too. That is the point. That's why it's kind of hard to. That's why it's kind of hard to think about. Okay, right.
Oh, hey there. It's your old friend Denims. I have a lot to catch you up on, but before that, a quick message for Ethan.
Look at me. This is me. I win, you lose. And you will continue to lose, and I'll tell you why. Because I'm not done. I'll never be done. Fat L's, cringe, you lose, I win.
Before we start, let me bring in our honored guest. You might have previously known him as the Fair Use King.
By the way, he is going to have such a large meltdown over this. He is going to be going crazy. Expect a new lawsuit dropping versus like a baby or something, or someone who he can maybe win it against. Like literally just like a baby who he's going to sue for having like garbled when he was trying to appear on air.
And let me just... There we go, much better. At least he's still the king of something. Now, I'd like to announce as of July 1st, 2026, after almost exactly a year, I have won my lawsuit against Ethan Klein and saved React.
I cannot wait until Noah wins his. I cannot wait until that happens. I really cannot wait until Noah wins his lawsuit against this horrible little man as well. And good for her. What a weight being lifted off your shoulders. What just an absolute amount of misery inflicted on you by some rich, horrible sack of shit that Ethan Klein really is. Just because he had money, endorsed by a bunch of little weirdo sycophants like Girl with a Microphone, Harley Morenstein, who literally only have a job because all they do is just arse-lick Ethan. Good for her.
Content on the internet for everyone. For anyone that doesn't know, last January, I did a stream where I reacted to Ethan's content new Kassan Piker, and even though I more than doubled the runtime, he still sued me for it. My reaction stream had more commentary than literally anyone else who reacted to the content nuke, and most of my reaction was critical of the political message in the video. If Ethan had won, or if he wins on appeal, make no mistake, every single React streamer on the internet is completely and totally boned. But Denims, it's different because my favorite internet lawyer said that you said that you wanted to maliciously steal his video. I think now is a good time to finally dispel this talking point. I did not say or do anything to try and deprive Ethan of revenue. There are lots of different versions of this claim, like that I told people to not watch his stream or to watch my stream instead of his, or that I advertised my stream as like a place to watch the nuke, or that I told anyone else to do any of those things. But none of that happened. And yet a bunch of people became convinced that I would lose my lawsuit because of this. Like, a lot.
I'm gonna mute that for a second, and I'll just read them. Well, actually, I won't read them, but yeah. Rule that denims can't wear... Denims exposes that Frogan is going to settle the same way Casey did. Anyone taking bets on whether Denims makes it to her trial date?
I mean, I'm not. Cooked. Not.
Oh, wait, I can't listen to this. Is this all it is for the rest of the stream? I can't listen to this. How's she uploaded this?
Saw that some people are getting sued for.
You want me to read some of them? Okay, Asmongold thinks Denim's, Frogan, and Casey trying to cook, that it's already too late and they should be worried. They can cry, get mad. If you say something bad about me when I'm trying to fight genocide, that's not going to work in the court of law. It's kind of funny how, like, Ethan's dumbass nonsense just didn't work in the court of law. Hold on. Oh, I'm accidentally doing that. Denims has raised $6,000 in her legal defense fund. She walked into Ethan's trap and is being sued. These people are so pathetic. She walked into... Do you remember when Ethan was framing this as like an epic trap? Ugh. Ugh. This just also, sorry, I mentioned this comment earlier. Chat, can the judge really rule that Denims can't wear push-up bras on stream? Denims is really providing transformative content. You would think receiving a lawsuit on copyright infringement would motivate you to further elaborate on your commentary or implement changes on your stream. Oh, Jesus Christ, these people. How's that lawsuit going? How's that lawsuit going? What? Oh, why are we starting to get the lag again? So here we go, here we go.
The lawsuit asserts that there has to be some kind of like conspiracy with the H3 Snark mods, but I've never communicated with any of them in any way. So what exactly did I say that proves this malicious intent and involvement in this conspiracy? Well, here are the clips from his video. We're relying on you to stay alive so we don't give more views on the nuke. Yeah, I'm gonna.
By the way, I actually do not think that that is true. That Hassan is a bigger Zionist than Ethan Klein. That is obviously not true. That's just like absolutely not true.
Stream it.
Or that he's done more harm. Like Ethan has sued multiple people. Multiple people who do not have the means to fight against this. Like, he is definitely the bigger Zionist.
Since he confirmed it's coming out today, we're going to stream it. If you want to watch it with someone else who's already watching it, you know, come enjoy the watch party somewhere else. If you enjoyed not giving any views to that terrible video, follow, subscribe, throw a prime if you like the content, if you enjoyed your time here. Compelling, right? Here's the thing. I don't care how many views Ethan's video gets. It's just not something that's ever crossed my mind. So in that first clip, when I read that chat message, I answer their question and move on. I hope you guys don't mind me not lambasting that chatter. The second clip is so...
I don't know, Ethan's still a fan as the... Ethan is still a fan of, like, the actual Zionist project. Like, Ethan is straight up, like, Israel is moral... Israel is just. Israel is acceptable. Ethan Klein is trying to set a precedent that if you accuse someone of supporting genocide, that you deserve to be sued for that. That you deserve to lose all of your money. It is opening a huge can of worms for that to be done over and over again to people. Brad Lander, Zora, and Hakeem Jeffries, ignore the personal beef, look at policy candidates. Yeah, but the whole thing is like, you do realize Ethan supports all of those people too. And like, Hassan may be an influential guy. Ethan also has like, you know, 14, 15k viewers. Hassan does double that, to be fair. But the whole thing is like, I don't see Hassan as a Zionist. I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be honest. Like, I don't love the Brad Lander stuff. I don't agree with it, and I think you should tell your audience, frankly, who this is. But I think calling him a Zionist just, like, isn't true. Like, I don't like Brad Lander, but I don't think he's a Zionist. To think Zionist politicians are actually anti-Zionist. I mean, maybe with Lander, but I by the way, I think Zoran is disappointed. I don't think, well, I guess that recent statement was particularly disappointing. And Graham Plattner, yeah, that sucks. The Graham Plattner stuff sucks too. I don't like Graham Plattner, but I don't think he's a Zionist.
So plainly out of context that I don't really know what to think of it, especially considering that they also tried to use it in the filing. Let me play the full thing for you. Yeah, this is another thing. Don't go bother Hassan while he's...
Did Hassan... Someone's saying now on Twitch that Hassan didn't work with Brad Lander. I guess it's just the belief in electoralism. It's just the belief in electoralism. I don't like it, I don't rate it, and I'm not sure those politicians will do anything, but I'm not sure what else you can do with a large platform. I don't like the Plattner stuff, though. Plattner in particular I find particularly problematic. I don't agree that he's a Zionist, though. He promoted him. Did he or did he not? Who are you talking about? God, once again, I don't know. These people are fantasizing. Susan Collins. What, did he promote her? Plattner met with the chair of J Street in Maine and wants to repair the relationship between Israel and America. He is a Zionist. That is possibly, quite possibly true. Third party. Who is the third party candidate, though? Like, in places like this? I guess there's one. I saw the Brianna Joy gay interview. Gay? I can't remember. But I saw her interview when she was talking about some third party candidate.
In fucking Japan, having a good time. Don't bother him about this.
Basically saying that if you associate people with people who are associated with Zionists, you might as well be one. What is understanding from what the YouTube chat is saying? No, I do understand this point of like saying that like Plattner is like this awesome guy. Plattner is certainly not an awesome guy. I think the reason that people say that Plattner is a Zionist is one because of his brother, because he also worked with what's his name? J Street, which I didn't even know about. I just don't like him because I find Plattner to be a really tough individual in the sense of like, Plattner is like a warmonger. But I'm not sure about the idea that Hassan is like just a Zionist. I don't think he is. Like, I think Hassan has also used his platform to speak out unequivocally against what Israel has done in Palestine. And I think that is like a positive thing. I think most people aren't doing that kind of stuff. And I think people are more than welcome to criticize him. I guess the thing in like American politics, and I do see the argument that these people make, like, look, I'm not such a fan of it. And I think that maybe that's in part because I live in the UK where there is actually like where there is actually difference and like change. Where there is enough difference and you can like have a third party. But in America, is it even a thing, really? Is it even really a thing that you can have a third party? Bernie Fetterman and Plattner don't really care about anything else, don't care if he's a Zionist, because at the end of the day, he's not an anti-Zionist. All people to be above this type of chatter. Hassan has been anti-Zionist for like 10 years. Yeah, I as I'm saying, I don't think Hassan is a Zionist. I don't think he supports Zionism. I don't think he does at all. I think he's spoken out against it continually, and I don't think this stuff does make him a Zionist. I don't think he's a supporter of the Zionist project. I don't think he supports the Israel. Look, what is a Zionist? Zionism is the idea that Jewish people have a right to build a Jewish state in historic Palestine, okay? That's like that's what it is. I do not think that Hassan supports that at all. I think there's plenty of criticisms of electoral politics in America. But yeah, like and also Hassan supports it, but I do not think that he is a Zionist. I genuinely don't. Is really the conversation, but third party is extremely hard in the system that has been rigged to make sure third parties cannot win. Yeah, I mean, that's my gripe around him. I don't like Hassan supporting Plattner. I don't. Someone just sent a link which has been deleted. I apologize. Is also not good. No, it's definitely not good, but there's more plausibility of a left wing like third party coming up. Like the Green Party has kind of made itself into a third party, which is kind of impressive, and I'm glad of that. It's still better than the Democrat dead end. Maybe you're right about that. Maybe you're totally right about that. Maybe you're 100% right about it. Most Zionists aren't that directly complicit. But Zionism is like an overt support. Okay, if Hassan had used his platform to be like, oh, you know, I think Israel is moral, that Israel has this right to exist. If he'd spent his time, like, you know, doing that kind of stuff, I would agree with you that he's a Zionist, but I don't think he ever was like that. Hassan Piker is a liberal Zionist and American exceptionist. You can disagree, but as someone as privileged as Hassan, I don't like his fascination with wanting more wars for American treats. What do you mean? What do you mean American wars? I've seen that he's like, you know, the Platner stuff, but yeah, I don't think he's like, what did he support the war in Iran? None of these people are Zionists. I think he's an anti-Zionist. I think it's kind of a problem with electoralism, and I think that there's definitely a conversation, but I think like just saying Hassan is a Zionist, it's kind of like, I don't know. I don't know. Like, I really don't know. Because, like, fundamentally, right, the whole idea that, like, oh, Ethan Klein, people just didn't like him because he had an argument with Hassan, that's not, like, it. It's not, like, it. That's not it. That people are talking about whether or not Hassan is Zionist is indicative of America's literacy crisis, because if you ask a Swanner anti-Zionist whether or not Hassan's a Zionist, they'd say he's anti-Zionist. Would a Zionist interview a Houthi? I mean, it depends. Also, that, by the way, that guy wasn't a Houthi. Data Marley, Data Mail, sorry, I always keep calling you Data Marley. I do want to watch your video, it's just long and streaming's been messed up. At some point I possibly will. But yeah, I don't think he supported it. If you support Zionists, you become one. I don't know. I don't know. Like, I think the whole thing is like critique electoralism, okay? But like this whole notion that he is like someone who is just like someone who like supports the Zionist project is kind of incongruent with the things he's said and the things he's done. I do think he wants American politics to be anti-Zionist. I think that that's true. I don't think that there's any two ways about it. His vision for reaching it, and I think that personally, I can't really understand the Graham Plattner stuff in particular. I really can't, of like the being like, I really like Plattner. I don't really get it, because I think Plattner has said plenty of things that are pretty shaky, but his actual actions and the behavior on Reddit is really, really tough. And I find that like the hard thing. Is this a safe space to say, because you're fantasizing about Hassan being a Zionist, are really dumb? If you were on the, I don't think people are dumb. I think it's a reasonable critique, okay? And this is the hard position, because like, okay, right. When it comes to, like critiquing electoralism, I really appreciate that. I think that that's completely fine, and I think that that's totally acceptable. I just don't think he's a Zionist. I don't. That is true though. He did say Zionists aren't fit to be the local dog catcher, and then he did support. I guess he didn't support Lander. Do the Democrats all love Hassan, though? Is that necessarily true? There's a specific group of, people there who like him. But yeah. Everyone wants peace too, especially the Lib Zionists. We don't accept them as peaceful because their ideology and tactics lead directly to genocide. Yeah, I mean, I agree with you on that. Someone said he didn't support Lander. People act as if Hassan is some Plattner simp. He gives critical support, that's it. I swear there is a video where he's like, I'm unequivocally supporting Plattner, though. Hassan has the attention of a lot of people. They will say to anything to muddy the waters and try to split the left. Plenty of wreckers. I don't think people are all wreckers. I don't think people are, like, just wreckers, okay? I don't think that's the point of the stuff that people are doing, okay? I don't think that people are just trying to wreck things. I think people have reasonable critiques about stuff. But like simultaneously, I don't know. I'm not referring to him as a Zionist. But it is a bit of a mix. Like, I don't think you can say all the Democrats like Hassan. I don't. And I'm sorry that you want to unfollow. That's I apologize. It's your prerogative. I can't change your opinion. Have a nice day, Alex, though. Chat is trolling. No, people have strong opinions about this. People feel their way about it. I feel like supporting someone's candidacy is different from saying they're a great person, or am I missing something? I guess that's the thing, though. It's not just about saying they're a great person, is what I mean. It's like... And I would ask all the people who, like, are kind of more comfortable with it. Do you not find it kind of, like, really tough that, like, Plattner did have a Reddit account where he was like, I kind of just enjoyed murdering people. Like, I kind of just enjoyed murdering people. That, to me... It's, like, really tough to get over and really tough to be like, I'd even be, like that I'd want to offer any support to that. Like, I am asking that as a genuine question. I think the thing with when it comes to Bernie is it's just, like, I find it really hard because he is just like, I love Israel. La boo-boo. If there are, thank you for the €5, Marcus. If there are 10 people at the table and 9 are Nazis, there are 10 Nazis. The same applies for Zionism. Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree with what you're saying, and I think, I don't know. I guess like it's kind of like Hassan's inner circle is not just. Hassan's just like the people who he's like closest with, and the people who he endorsed the hardest are not generally are not generally like all like mega Zionists or something. But yeah, he's I don't know if he is like a big endorser of Lander and stuff, and I don't know if he's spoken to his audience about that because that's hard. I think it's just hard. I think he is like Brad Lander is particularly repugnant. If the crime of crimes isn't a red line, nothing will be. Any Zionism needs to be a red line. 100%. And I am very happy with how things have changed. And I think that one of the things that probably should be appreciated a bit more, and to have feelings about Palestine-related stuff, is this has not changed overnight. It took years and years of organizing. It also took a very significant event by Palestinian militants to change things massively. And the changes that have occurred over the last 2 years are brilliant. I do think there is a reason to be worried about whether this is just an attempt to co-opt real anger about Israel into just electoral politics. And I do worry about the rehabilitation of Zionism. However, simultaneously at the same time, it is pretty clear that things right now have changed a lot. He directly said he likes Lander and he would vote for him in a crowd primary. Oh, okay. I've not seen that. Plattner is one of the best people we have coming. The take you don't like him is no lies bizarre. I don't really know why you love Plattner though. Like Plattner is like posting about how he loved murdering people. He talks about Landers and Sanders Zionism all the time. He hates it. He says it's their bad points. Yeah, I guess that I guess to ask a question then, because obviously there's completely diametrically opposing viewpoints, and I don't want people to. I don't want everyone to just hate each other who's in this. Like, I would rather that there were more people who all have this overarching feeling that Israel is wrong, were able to discuss it and reach conclusions. And I think anti-Zionism is really, really, really important. But I think one of the things is, and like the point people are making is like, if you are willing to support these people who are Zionists, is that just like a one-time thing, or does that just keep going forever because you keep making excuses for it? He did like murder enough to do several tours in the sand. What does that mean? It's like rehabilitating white supremacy or Nazism. It's impossible. I don't think rehabilitating Zionism is impossible. I really don't. I'm just going to blow my nose. Hold on. I think that this is one of the problems with streaming. I've just never really cared about electoralism, and people are very interested in it. If you'll truly believe that, why are we supporting Chris, whom was taught about Swanner from an Israeli? I'm sure Pape was birthed into Zionism. Ilan Pape was birthed into Zionism. Ilan Pape still lives in Israel, by the way. Ilan Pape does. He does still live in Israel, which is interesting. Fucked up shit on Reddit. I can never run for political office. I think Virtual Matt, I think one of the things is like, it depends how fucked up it is. Like, okay, if you made some insensitive jokes, yeah. I think that that's fine. That, you know, you could probably change, and I think you could be a different person. What is kind of hard is when you're like, I had a great time in Iraq just sort of murdering people. Like, that he liked it. Brad Lander is an enigma. There is an article that talks about how he talks about his newborn baby as a Jew with no right to return. La Boubou. That claims to be a liberal Zionist. Yeah, I've heard he just sort of says straight things. Elephant Fish, thank you for the 20 NOK. Thank you for the 20 NOK. No red line if I get mine. Burger, burger, burger. And I suppose that's the worry, and that's the kind of thing that I see why people are worried about this, why people do feel very strongly about this, of like where it ends. Have you said you enjoy killing? No, you shouldn't be in office. Exactly. I'm not really sure about many veterans being in office. You know, I was talking about this once, and my yeah, I don't really care if it's like a veteran of like, I don't know, some like resistance thing, but if it's like just an American veteran, yeah. No, I what I mean is like, with the having done that, the Reddit posts about like, I love killing plus having done it, I think it's, yeah, I think it's I think it's true. I think it's tough. Endorsing Charles Manson for the Senate because he said we should get more money for our imperialist adventures. Did Manson say? I don't even know what Manson felt about politics. And you will have atoned for you. Okay, yeah, if Plattner sends Biden to The Hague and then turns himself in, then yeah, okay. There's that good quote from when in The Sopranos when what's Tony's wife called? Oh my god, how am I forgetting Tony's wife's name? I haven't seen The Sopranos in a while. God. Fuck. Oh my god, that's terrible. Meadow is his daughter. Anthony's his son. Carmela. Of course it's Carmela. Anyway, when Carmela's like talking to the shrink, and the shrink's like, oh, the only way that Tony could ever change was if he sat in a cell for 10 years and read War and Peace. We're ready to move on. I know, we will move on. Misogynist slip, Chris. Yeah, I forgot Carmela Soprano's name because I'm doing misogyny. Okay, let's get back to this quickly. Sorry.
Where else? If you enjoyed not giving any views to that terrible video, follow, subscribe, throw a prime if you like the content, if you enjoyed your time here. Compelling, right? Here's the thing. I don't care how many views Ethan's video gets. It's just not something that's ever crossed my mind. So in that first clip, when I read that chat message, I answer their question and move on. I hope you guys don't mind me not lambasting that chatter. The second clip.
Thank you for the commentary of saying that Iran has to be blown off the planet. Yeah, I guess, yeah, now Denim's killed copyright data mail. I can watch it on stream.
Is so plainly out of context that I don't really know what to think of it, especially considering that they also tried to use it in the filing.
Gooseneck lady, Gooseneck 889, you may have just been on the streak of the worst comments that I have ever seen a person manage to post in just 3 comments. Those are the worst comments. This guy started off with saying Iran does have to be blown off the planet. He then made a comment about Denim's boobs, and his previous comment was saying no nukes were dropped.
Let me play the full thing for you. Yeah, this is another thing. Don't go bother Hassan while he's in fucking Japan having a good time. Don't bother him about this stupid garbage. Like, I think it's bad enough to like lose a friend, especially someone where someone you really tried to like make a better person. The last thing I would want while I'm vacationing in Japan is to be fucking linked 100 times some video from a deranged ex of mine, right? If you want to watch it with someone else who's already watching it, you know, come enjoy the watch party somewhere else. I don't think that needs any further explanation. The last clip is me shilling at the end of my stream. So, you know, after I had just spent the past 4 hours tearing this video apart, what can I say? I thought the video was bad. Whether or not people watch his video is just not something I had thought about at all. If you want to argue about it, the viewership of my stream is totally insignificant compared to his. And nobody that listened to me criticize him for 4 hours was going to watch his video anyways, because it's a completely different experience. And I mean, that is literally what the court found. So all of that to say, there isn't anything uniquely special about this case. Technically, between you and me, even if there was, intent doesn't actually matter when it comes to analyzing whether or not something is fair use. So yeah, Ethan posted this IG story saying that he would be proceeding with an appeal. And as I've stated from the very beginning, I will be fighting this lawsuit to the end. I could not have gotten this far without all of your support. And to be honest with you guys, it has been kind of expensive. So from the bottom of my heart, if you...
Daniel Price, what is that comment now? Why are you just... you joined here a month ago. What is this strangeness that you're doing? What is going on?
you would like to help me fight this appeal to defend React content on the internet, please go to ethankleinlive.com and donate $5, $10, $20, really any amount that you're able to. Thank you again to everyone who has supported me and believed in me. And as I said before, I look forward to beating Ethan Klein in court. Besides that, I stream on Twitch Thursday through Sunday at 7 a.m. PST. I also might be doing a mass unban. So if you are one of the morons that told me I was going to lose my lawsuit, you owe me an apology. Come say hi. All right.
Good for her. Sorry, that got really, really derailed from what it originally was, but good for Denims. Shout out. Well done. She hasn't got a very big YouTube channel. Well done. Fair play. Amazing. Amazing. Congratulations. The reason he's being attacked is because he is on the left. As a grunt, if he had been an officer on the right, he would have been called a hero. The right wing and the Zionists are pumping tens of millions. Wait, but if he was an officer, most people would oppose him who were going to oppose him anyway. Right. It's okay. Like, I understand people have, I understand that people have, like, differing opinions, okay? And I want people, I just think that sometimes, and this goes for people, I don't think I'm as, perhaps as, like, I don't think I'd ever be willing to do what Hassan does, and that's fair enough. He has a different view of the world. I don't really want to get involved in electoral politics in the UK. I would talk to Polanski, maybe, but I'm never, ever, ever going to talk to a Labour Party politician. And that is a fundamental difference. Here, there is a hope that maybe the Labour Party are able to win. The only thing I will say is, I do think I do understand why people feel really strongly about the Platner stuff, and I'm actually not going to dismiss that at all. I'm not going to dismiss the Platner stuff at all. Really, like, and I think this goes both ways. Like, if you're kind of feeling like, oh, why are people so mad about this Platner stuff? Like, Platner participated in the Iraq War. People lost family. People lost lives. It destroyed a country. It's actually had never-ending ripple effects. Platner not only participated in that, he openly said, I did it for fun. He, like, talked about how much he liked killing about 5 years ago. And maybe people can change, right? But, like, I don't think he's really confronted that ever. But one thing I will say for everyone is, most people that you're going to meet on the internet are not going to really get on... sorry. you're never really going to know these people, okay? It's like a broad
I
community.
love burgers and living in Israel.
It's a broad community of like people on the internet. I would try and convince people as much as you'd like. I think that's the best idea, of just trying to convince other people as to why you feel your way and why you're correct. I don't think it's good to support Plattner. No, I don't. And as I've said multiple times, I've explained why. I don't like him. I think that maybe we do have to draw red lines. And I think, well, not maybe, I think we just definitely do. Also, sorry, Cyberpunkussy, thank you for the 5 gifted. Thank you for supporting the stream. It's incredibly important. It's incredibly kind. Thank you so much. I was about to say it's incredibly important, but important for what? Yeah, thank you for the 5 gifted. Incredibly kind. And everyone who got a gifted, enjoy your new emotes. If you ever want to talk further again, I can connect you to Butch Ware from the Green Party. I did see your message about wanting to join, and it would be maybe it would be nice to do that at some point. I've said that before. Fine, if you want him to win, okay, fine. Like fine. Like I'm sure he's maybe better than Susan Collins on certain things. I think the whole thing is just like, Kyle Kalinske definitely did this, and a couple of other people. Like, Kyle Kalinski's posting was quite weird. Kyle Kalinski's a funny guy still. But Kyle Kalinske, when he was just like, I'm for Biden, whatever. Also, sorry, Daniel Price, I don't know if you're gone forever. Your messages are insane. Run your traps about me all you'd like. At least I've never, nor would ever, sit in front of a webcam, attention, and then he used a derogatory term for women, which I'm sure you can guess, for handouts, calling it donations, like this bumfuck. I don't necessarily, with the Green Party in the UK. It's yeah. I just, with the Green Party, maybe I'd vote for them. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
La Boo.
Marcus Ryan, thank you for the €2. Derek Chauvin, 2028. As long as he runs on free buses. Yeah, it depends where the free buses are. So yeah. What do you think about Zay Squirrel? I think Zay Squirrel sometimes says some things, like her comments on the Kurds was not good. Zay Squirrel's comments on the Kurds were like actively really quite bad. I don't remember what they were, but I remember reading them and being like, whoa, that is out of pocket. And she also got some prediction wrong about Iran, but she was still right about, they, I don't know whether it's a she or a he. I just assume because it's a squirrel that it's a woman. I might be a bit bigoted of me. But anyway, I think on just generally, like, they've posted a lot about Palestine, and I like that, you know? Yeah. More money for Chris's panhandling ways. Trevor Tros, thank you for the $2. That's what I was accused of by that Zionist girl. She said I was panhandling, and I was like, I mean, like, I want to build, like, something where I get to talk about this politics and this stuff that I really care about. And I'm incredibly grateful that people donate and support it and make this possible. It is incredibly kind, and I'm incredibly grateful for that. I always will be. Simultaneously, however, it is definitely a lot fucking better than working for, like, Kufi and going on paid trips to Israel. I mean, people know my thoughts. I don't really love the way that Bad Empanada conducts himself online. I don't. I think sometimes the way he's posting, sometimes the way he talks to people is just like, I don't know. I think, like, maybe I would try and at least talk to someone, especially someone who I think I could convince of my opinions and things like that. I also think sometimes when he does criticisms of people that they don't always stand, like, I'm not so sure that, like, when he's like Calla Walsh's Epic and it's just like blindly supporting everything the Islamic Republic does, I'm not so sure that's a great idea. And he's previously said that. And also he's kind of criticizes people for like talking about Ethan a lot, but he like talks about Hassan a lot. But I guess like there is a point in that if you're like just talking about like everything that Ethan Klein does and like every single misgiving that he does on his dumbass show, what's the point? Yeah. Reverts to Islam just to defend Daraliza Chevalier, reverting to Islam, which is a weird... I don't think he did revert to Islam. I don't think that that's true. And he said he didn't want to see his mother sending their sons home for gangsters of capitalism and for bankers. Well, I mean, are you talking about Platner there? Is a Galilean panhandling social media very professionally. Yeah, but the thing is I don't even think you could call that panhandling. You literally just get paid for that. We smoking on that Khamenei, Pat. Yep, Khamenei's dead. I'm not someone who is like going to be really upset. I don't think extrajudicially assassinating him is a good thing. I also think it's kind of dumb because people like you advocate for assassinating like never-ending assassinations of people who are the enemies of the American government, and it just doesn't work. Like, it just doesn't work. It does not work. But yeah. Hold on, I'm just gonna blow my nose. I apologize. Oh no, guys, I can't read chat. I have to blow my nose. Oh no, I can't listen to what any of you are saying. I don't dislike Hassan, but you can criticize him like any other person. Exactly. I think also, by the way, that like a lot of people, obviously some criticism of Hassan does get into just like mental territories, but these are real disagreements that are worth talking about. And like, as I say, like, Hassan has always been a nice guy, and he's like, he came on mine and Isaac's podcast, he brought me on his stream, and I'm grateful for that. And no one, like literally no other British leftist with a sizable platform has ever spoken to me or been kind to me or really been helpful. Like, no one with a sizable platform. There are plenty of Americans who've done it. There's also this hot guy called Isaac Zale of the Overzealots channel who's like quite helpful. And so I'm kind of grateful for that, and I always will be grateful for that. And yeah. But I just don't think forever defend, like, I don't think I have to forever defend him, and I don't think he would care. And I'm happy to say things that I don't agree with that he's up to, or things that we are like, I find tough. I guess, like, also one of the things is like, realistically, I'm like, my expertise is in Palestine and Middle Eastern politics. American electoralism and even understanding the world is something that I'm just trying to get into. Bad Empanada is a Javier Milei glazer. Yeah. I regularly see him talking about how much he rates Javier Milei. Can we rewatch the clip of Hassan insulting Owen Jones on Piers Morgan? What? Are you talking about what's his name? Also, Matt Mimich, zap. I assume you're a child, seeing as you made your Twitch account in 2026, which feels like a very young age to be making a Twitch account. Have you ever uploaded anything on Twitch? You're a professional politics streamer, but you have a YouTube.
I love burgers and living in Israel.
Oh my goodness. Petflers, thank you for the 5 gifted over on Twitch. Incredibly kind. Thank you for supporting the channel. It's greatly appreciated. Incredibly kind. Thank you so much. Thank you. Incredibly kind. Everyone, thank you for supporting the channel. Thank you for helping me make streaming possible. And it's inspired me to stop being such a critic instead of just getting out there and doing something meaningful. I know. That's also something I think, like, I don't know if my place really... I'm good at giving speeches, by the way. I'm actually really good. So maybe I should have capitalized on that. Maybe I should have capitalized on that more. But like, what was I going to say? I do think, like, if he can push people towards left-wing politics, I do think that's a good thing. And I do think people should go out and should participate in this stuff. Like, and I think you'll make meaningful connections. And I think you'll meet a lot of people who really care about politics. And I think that also really, really, really matters. I think that does. And I think you can meet people online. And I think doing local stuff is great as well. It's a shame because it makes him shut his ears to actual good criticism. Who? Are you talking about me or? Of course there is legitimate, but so much of what people are saying about him is deranged. Yeah. Graham Plattner has not atoned. Not that it matters to Yanks. Yeah, I know. I think I've been pretty clear on that.
La Boo.
Yeah, and I do think that that's something that, like, I do just have, like, I'm really grateful to him for, of just, like, introducing people to me, and I think that that's, I just, as I say, like, no one else did that shit for me. There are some great people on TikTok, don't get me wrong, but, like, TikTokers are mostly small. Like, TikTokers are not big. TikTokers are not, like, people like him, and he did do that, and I think that that's great. Yeah, I know, Nox. I know he's not, like, a fan of it. Are you in any political organization? Not really anymore, and a big part of why is, like, the place in which I am. But I try and go to protests, but I'm not so sure how much of a point in that there is. But I was involved in the campus stuff at school. I went to every protest at university. On campus, that was. But the only thing was, like, increasingly, like, with the encampment, I couldn't really hack it. I was so sick at that point. I was so sick at that point. Yeah. I found you through Hassan and Isaac. Don't like the second part of that. I'm good at giving speeches. I should have capitalized on that. What was I going to say again? Exactly. That would be a brilliant speech. It would be very human. Some here talk about Hassan is how MAGA talks about Democrats. But I think people are mad about reasonable things, and I think people are mad about a lack of change, and I think they worry that the same thing happens with, you know, Zoran and all of these people as happened with Obama. By the way, I do think it is very, I do think it is really, really impressive how large of a platform he's built in terms of being able to talk about left-wing politics on the internet. You know? In the same way that, like, as much as I may disdain Destiny, it is kind of crazy to think that he actually created streaming in some ways. Yeah. The policy of the lesser of evils strengthens the feeling of power of the reactionary forces and is opposed to create the greatest of all evils, the passivity of the masses. What do you think about this one? Marcus Ryan, I'm going to hit you with a quote that I heard one time from someone I like. Not voting doubles the vote of someone who hates you. What do you think about that? And thus voting halves the vote of people who hate you, or is kind of involved with that, or both of it. I don't know. Eating Labubu's shaped. Nope. I'm not eating Labubu's. Your name is a Song of Ice and Fire reference. Oh, I can't say Game of Thrones. Oh, sorry, Henry. Oh. Mr. Morelli. Yes.
Labubu.
Lemon Mint Cat, thank you for the $5. Thank you for supporting the channel. Sorry, I just have to respond to something afterwards. Billy Beelzebub, although it is Beelzebub. I'm here with this whole Mexico shit. This whole Mexico stuff is really frustrating. Stop talking about Mexico. England are going to win. Don't normalize liberal Zionist pals deserve more than... Palestinians deserve more than scraps and platitudes. The Zionist ideology, no matter how mild-mannered, must be rejected. I agree with you. And I think that that's so easy for me here. Like, that's so easy of, like, I can just be like, yeah, I think the Greens are pretty good on that. And I think Polanski is better on that. I think it's tough in America because it's either, like, you just do nothing, or you do nothing, or, like, yeah. Mexico's going to crush England. Shut up. You do nothing. But at the same time, I completely understand what you're saying. I completely understand what you're saying. Like, for too long, it has been as an accepted ideology. And pre-October the 7th, I myself was guilty of that. I think that, by the way, this is also a bit of a post-October the 7th phenomenon. Not for everyone, but for a lot of people, it's, like, changed. Oh, England's going down. Zaya, please. Please, you're normally saying nice things, and now you're all here talking shit. How about my quote, convincing two people is more powerful than voting yourself? How about my quote, banging two people is more convincing than voting yourself? What do you think of that? But no, I just think, and I guess that's kind of like a message in chat. Like, I guess, like, when someone comes in and they don't agree with you, I just think maybe like we're all just people on the internet, and like I think maybe we should just try and be more polite to people and give people the benefit of the doubt and try and convince them, and maybe be like, hey, this is why I feel this way. Because I think ultimately most of these people do just agree with you, like they do. I think pretty much everyone here, except for maybe that Daniel guy who kept saying I was panhandling, was maybe he didn't agree with me, and the guy who's saying that Hassan is shocking his dog, maybe they don't agree with me, but I don't know. People who are against me should be turned into biofuel. I mean, well, you've added something at least of turning people into biofuel. Barbara Pitted, although I don't really want to say Barbara Pitt, like, I don't know what Barbara Pitt is, to clarify. I don't know. It's just, I think it might be one of my chatter's girlfriends. I really don't know. They constantly talk about it. Jesus Christ. I can't actually believe that you're talking so horribly about fucking England not beating Mexico. Oh!
It is utterly ridiculous.
That is actually, that you know what? That's incredibly kind. Thank you for the 5 gifted subs, Zaya. But what I didn't tell you is for every gifted sub means England's going to score a goal, so it's going to be 5-0 England. So, what are you going to do about that? But thank you so much for supporting the channel. Who on earth is Central Committee, by the way? Someone said they were talking about Central Committee. Also, by the way, I actually have a video that is ready to go after this stream that's going to go up. Most people complaining about Hassan these days didn't...
Mein Gott, Leute, meine Mama hat mir einfach erlaubt, dass ich Kohle trinken darf. Wie cool ist das? Jetzt zocke ich Fortnite und trinke ich Cola. Yippie!
I forgot about that. Henry, I'm guessing you changed the emote. Jesus Christ, that shocked me so much. Girl on Friday, thank you so much for... Girl Friday on Tuesday, sorry. Thank you so much for the $50 donation. Goated, incredibly kind. You did almost kill me, though. You did almost kill me. Is it true the only US instrument recognizing the state of Israel was the press statement on May 14th, 1948, which went out to reporters on plain paper and unsigned, and a later search for an official document of recognition? What the fuck? I have never heard that. Sorry, what on earth? Where did you hear this? This is the funny thing. By the way, I didn't know this. I actually didn't know this. The only thing that Israel chose, the Zionists chose the name Israel, like a few days before the State of Israel. Like, it wasn't like it was founded. It wasn't like a commonly chosen thing. It wasn't like a thing that had been decided for ages. Right, sorry, I really need to calm down now. Where did you hear that? I'm actually really interested. That was messaging me, named Sitchin last night, who apparently pressured Truman, and I was just curious. I think Truman met a lot with the Saudis, and he kept saying, I'm not going to do anything, and he did it, so... I don't know, but that's... I've never heard that. That's so interesting. Thank you for letting me know, and thank you for the incredibly kind donation that set off... that did almost kill me. Whew. Oh, God. The original video clip where Yippee came from. Well, do you want me to watch that now that you've seen it? Or what? Are you just hoping that I don't know. Mike from PA has said racial slurs and is an actual anti-Semite. What did he... Do you know what? I actually received 40 cents earlier from a Jewish guy who was pro-Israel because I didn't deny the extermination of Jewish people during the Second World War. He gave me 40 cents, so I felt very happy about that he had so much respect for me. What did he do that was anti-Semitic, though? I guess I just hear stuff. Okay, hold on. What does he say? Also, amazing. Amazing it's cited from there. Well, it shouldn't be called Judea. Judea is only a specific part of Israel. What did he say? Central Committee, after a clip in which he questioned the legitimacy of Jewish identity as an ethnicity. Oh, God. By the way, if he was an Orthodox Jewish guy, he could do that, which is kind of the thing of, like, you're just kind of banned from doing that. But then I guess it's like people, it would be offensive if, like, loads of people just started. I think, yeah, I do find it offensive when people start trying to tell me about, you know, Islam when they don't know shit about it. But I do understand this. Literally, in my video, I have a clip of, I'm going to be banned on Twitch if people see the video of the ultra-Orthodox rabbi talking about this. There was an assassination attempt against Truman with these letter bombs with the White House Moorman found. Wait, where have you? Sorry, Girl Friday on Tuesday. Are you in the Discord? If not, you can send me this stuff on Instagram because I've never heard about this. Like, yeah, I've never heard of it. I'd like to read more about this. This sounds really interesting. Judean Hills is the West Bank. If it's the fucking seal spinning and I get demonetized from it, I'm gonna go... English has been cancelled. So people are not speaking English? Or what? What just happened? What just set off the thing? Oh, it's the super stickers that set that off. Thanks for the 100 NOK, Elephant Fish. I'm now faffing around and trying to work it out. Thank you for that goated donation. I like the yippee. Oh, wow. That's why. Wow. That's why. That's hot as fuck. W Elephant Fish, thank you for the incredibly kind donation. He's not an anti-Semite clip. He got banned was bad, but he apologized. What clip did he get banned for? This is actually disgusting, by the way. Fucking, you know, England have been removing it from Greg's. I'm not sure if we can do... The only other thing I want to set up is like a little donation thing on... PayPal, because Stephen Parrish is always incredibly kind, and it doesn't do anything, and I just kind of wanted to have like as a little thing. Him and made him sound weird. He was saying something. Yeah, it doesn't surprise me. I don't know. I don't know if it's I don't know if it's the case. Finally, Uber cunt. Thank you for that one. Is he Canadian? Is he Canadian? I don't even know. Is PA not Pennsylvania? I bet Indy Niles' new video is really good. Maybe that actually came in part from what we talked about. I wonder if it did. Not to say that Indy Nile had never had the... Oh, no, wait, no, he already spoke that he was going to do this. I'm sure that's fantastic. He's actually my favorite conversation from... And I hate to say that, you know, like, of all the people we've had on, we've had some brilliant guests, but Indy Nile was by far my favorite. Well, not by far. There were so many other great ones, but I love that conversation with him. Like the Tim Hortons one. What do you mean about the Tim Hortons? You know that's what every donation goes to, spending on Timbits. I've told you before, you need to convert your donation to Timbits. Yeah, Indy Nile was just a great guest. We actually have the Kuwaiti guy, Yusuf, who does film analysis, on next. He's the next guest, actually. And then Isaac and I are gonna do a couple of others. It was a combination of two things. He propagated a blood libel, which he apologized for, and referred to... Double down, which is why I don't often watch him. Yeah, I don't know what that term is, but that is a crazy... I don't know, I just think some of the stuff you're getting up to on the internet is a bit crazy. Some of the stuff you're getting up to. Which, speaking of, the stream has gone a bit awry, but it has been a good stream, surprisingly, which sometimes when these are on, it's sometimes like a bit of a crazy feeling of like just trying to deal with it, because I don't know. I'm just, yeah. I feel dumber and dumber and dumber the more I stream. Not from talking to you guys, and I think interacting with chat is brilliant, but I am not reading enough. I am not reading enough books at the moment. I need to read some of these books you tell me that should tell me that I should never, that I should, how I should feel about this stuff. I do need to read this stuff. Hold on, I'm just going to turn my fan off as well. My legs are plenty cool. Ooh, my fan is plenty hot, though. Oh, check that, check that, check that. Oh. She was talking about, but he went nutty mode. One of my bigger issues with him was when he viciously attacked Abu Ghazali, and he's a big supporter of Platner. Why did he attack Abu Ghazali? He also had a liberal Zionist Palestinian on his stream where she compared the right of return to Palestinians to a second Nakba. Did she? Did that actually happen as you're saying it? Is it that actually happen as you're saying you're saying it? And I'm not saying you make it up, but I don't know. It just feels like sometimes I worry about the second-hand interpretations I get. We're saying Jews instead of Zions in some rant. Yeah, there is a Discord. No. You don't need to become a member at all. You just join, and it's quite simple. Yeah, I don't know. She had some insane takes about China as well. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, that's something I just can't deal with. Whenever I have to talk to someone about, whenever I have to talk to someone about fucking, who's like crazy about China, I can't be asked. Like, I really can't be asked. I think it's mental. I think genuinely it's mental. I think there's actually loads to criticize about China. And I think loads of Chinese people who actually live there would be able to tell you so much to criticize it. But the stuff you're hearing from Westerners is just mental. Like, it's just mental rubbish. It's just utter rubbish. And you're like talking to someone, and I was like, China saved the global economy. And this person was like, well, they didn't do it out of the goodness of their heart. And I was like, probably not. No. Like, they didn't just do it for the sake of it. They do it because it matters to them. But it's like, what like, it matters having like a global economy. I don't know. But the problem is talking about China in any capacity is just tough as fuck. Is just tough as fuck because you have also people who are like, it's just an evil communist state, or it's like BRICS is gonna save the world. Also, sorry, someone wanted me to go on Discord. Ray, what did you ask for on Discord? Have you tagged me in it or whatever it was? You sent me a link to it. Is this in stream suggestions? Oh no, that's not it. Oh, fuck. Yeah. Oh, fuck. I can't find what you were telling me to look at. Sorry. I'm faffing around. I'm fucking around. Click the link. Mike is he's pretty egotistic, which does make people develop strong feelings about him. He's certainly not as bad as people are making out. Yeah, I mean, it just sounds like he said a couple of crazy things. Oh, God, I forgot about this image. That is an insane image. And also, my belly is bigger than that. I do like the little blue vest. That is a beautiful image, though. I'm not actually as weak as you'd imagine. Although I am a sickly little boy. That is a brilliant thing. Right. Yeah, I know. No countries does. Well, actually, Cuba kind of did invade Angola, and it was pretty dumb. Like, it was dumb. Invading Angola was just dumb. Like, it was really good morally, but for Cuba, no. That was not a good idea. Like, that was a bad idea for them. That's probably one of the only times where you can be like, holy shit, that was done out of the goodness of their heart. And also, the invasion by Vietnam of Cuba. No, the invasion of Vietnam of Cambodia was really moral, but I wouldn't say it's like done out of the goodness of its heart. They look toned. I know, that's the problem. I got big bulking man arms. Yeah, that is actually revisionism, saying that I'm not massive. I don't know, that's actually kind of offensive. It's kind of upsetting. Yeah, also, I don't know if someone mentioned Ahmed Fuad Al-Khatib. By the way, as bad as Abu Ghazale's takes may have been on some things, I don't think there's any comparison between Abu Ghazale and Abu Ghazale and Ahmed Fuad Al-Khatib. Ahmed Fuad Al-Khatib is straight up like, Israel should have killed my family. He's like straight up like, Israel should have killed everyone, every single, all of my family. I enjoy that Kat is one of the few politicians that is actually anti-ICE against death camps. Yeah, I think also a lot of the time we're all like quite lost up in like only Palestine stuff. That's obviously such an important thing. You know, just like this, and not to like justify anything else, but the stuff going on those camps are awful. They're awful. Those camps are just awful. The things that are happening in them. Who's Kat's boyfriend? And I'm sure she's doing good things. I don't think someone did actually compare her to Ahmed Fuad Al-Khatib. I just saw someone put his name in the chat and I missed it. I did enjoy one thing. I did enjoy this, which I saw the other day, and I wasn't going to show it, but I liked it so much that it made me think of it.
Yeah, let anyone fucking call me anti-Semitic. Legit, my favorite creators. I don't care what nationality they are, but they just happen to be, Ethan, Ela, and Casey.
How can I be anti-Semitic? H3, my favorite YouTuber. Wow. Crunchy in the mic. I hope you enjoyed that. I'm not even going to tell you what I'm eating. I'll leave it up to you to fantasize. I don't really get it. I don't get why you'd be like, Casey Neistat is my favorite YouTuber. Wait, has Donald Trump? I think Donald Trump has just Donald Trump has talking about Florian Balogun being unbanned, who, by the way, is a birthright citizen of America. Like, his mum was just pregnant, and she gave birth. She gave birth in America. She wasn't allowed to fly home. And yeah, kind of fucking crazy. I don't know what's going on with that AB clip. I really don't know what's going on. I don't know why you'd be like, my favorite content creators are Israeli, so that would mean anything. Hitler had a Jewish landlord. So, if you have a Jewish landlord, does that mean you can't be anti-Semitic? I don't know. Obviously not. Obviously not. Obviously, he was actually a pretty anti-Semitic guy who had some probably problematic views about the world. I can't find anything about Ben Collins' network. I think Overzealous is half Italian. You are correct about that. He's half Italian, half incredibly ugly. Is there anything else that I can cover today that isn't too long? Cav has a new video, but I don't think I'll watch that. I just have an Ethan Klein recommendation. I see Spooky Scary's live, actually. You know what? How long have I been live? How long did we get today? I guess we've been live for nearly 3.5 hours, plus TikTok, it's about 4 hours.
Welcome to the Burger Reich.
Oh, what? Oh, wow. Elephant Fish, thank you for the 10 gifted. Oh my goodness, incredibly kind. Thank you for the 10 gifted over on YouTube, incredibly kind. Thank you for supporting the channel, as always. Oh, fuck, 10 red cards for England, fuck. Shit, that's terrible news. That is really, really, really terrible news. Oh, wait. Oh. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. I hope that is not the 10-0. I hope that is not 10-5 to England now. But thank you so much for supporting the channel, man. Thank you so much. I need to be back on my streaming bullshit. I also need to be doing so much other stuff, but it's just things get overwhelming. You know. Oh my god. I'm just thinking of things that I haven't covered today. I kind of covered everything. I didn't really do any prep. I just finished my stream. Once again, not a single... Comrade Stapler, you are a sub. And yeah, W, Elephant Fish, thank you as always, man. It's just so incredibly kind. What was I going to show up? I'm just double checking that there's nothing else on. So Florian Balogan's been unbanned. There's a photo of JD Vance and Charlie Kirk, which is tough to see. VAR is anti-colonialism. Shut up. When has VAR done anything anti-colonial? VAR didn't intervene when Ghana should have got a red card against England. Oh wait, actually no, I know what I want to show. Did any of you see Ted Cruz's 4th of July post that people found years ago? So Ted Cruz posted what is one of the greatest tweets of all time. Happy 4th of July. Today is also the 47th anniversary of the daring Entebbe raid. I was only 5 at the time, but I remember being inspired by the amazing courage of the IOF team that rescued the hostages and killed the terrorists. I thought that's a very Texan foreign policy. Isn't this like the only time that Israel has ever managed to not fuck up rescuing hostages? Because they fucked up at the Olympics, right? It led to the killing of all of the hostages, right? That was their fuck up. I actually don't know enough about that, the Munich massacre. I've been, and I remember I was in Germany, and they kept talking about it. Oh, wait. Was it the Germans who fucked it up? Hold on. It's also fucking crazy that what's his name died in it. That Benjamin Netanyahu's brother died in it. 4th of July was also your birthday. Elab, happy birthday. Counting or not counting FPV drone violence? That is the kind of statement that could result in a ban. You can't make jokes about Charlie. He died. Yeah, Netanyahu's brother headbutted a bullet. Does anyone actually know about Munich? I don't. I know what it is, right? I know it's like the majority of the Israeli Olympic team was just killed in the Olympic park in Germany, which once again I've been to, and I've actually been swimming in the Olympic Park pool, Germany. Oh my god! Every time I'm doing anything, I'm getting I love the Olympia Schwimmhalle. Oh my god! Oh, war ich sehr... I've forgotten how you say wet in German, but I was very wet. Rest in peace. Oh god, that is the thought of like someone earlier today was like genuinely really upset with me. Because someone in the chat said, are you going to debate Charlie Kirk? And I said, oh, I got some bad news for you. He's dead. And because I laughed and smiled, he thought that I had done something wrong. Laughing at what? A guy who was just one of the most little heinous racists going. Aye. Also, sorry, I'm still not over Ted Cruz posting this. It's so funny. Wet means nass. I thought it was nass. Is trocknen dry? Trocknen. Munich massacre. Hold on. Let's see if we can learn about what happened in the Munich massacre.
A masked gunman steps onto the balcony in gun mills. Also appeared to have... A masked gunman steps onto the balcony of 31 Connolly Street in Munich's Olympic Village. He knows the world is watching. Hundreds of TV cameras in place to cover the Olympic Games, now trained on this window. Inside, 2 Israeli athletes are dead. Another 9 Israelis held hostage by a group of Palestinian gunmen calling themselves Black September. A hastily established crisis team is trying to negotiate their release. The terrorists want hundreds of Palestinian prisoners released from Israeli jails. Nothing else will do.
Issa, the chief, told me more times, even when I asked again, don't try. I'm a soldier. I got an order. I have to fulfill that order. You offer us a window, and this window we have to use to show the situation of our people.
Security at the Games was minimal. And for reasons still unclear, officials also appeared to have ignored one of 26 possible terror scenarios, which specifically warned of a possible hostage-taking by Palestinian militants. The lax security approach was deliberate. Authorities wanted to show a very different Olympics and a very different Germany from that of 19...
Yeah, this happened in 1972. Sorry, was she saying that that they wanted to show a different Olympics to when the Nazis hosted the Olympics? Fucking hell.
1936, when Hitler had hosted the Games in Berlin. But this fear of appearing in any way militaristic had given rise to a...
It's also kind of funny because Munich's the more Nazi city. Oh my god!
Welcome to the burger.
Oh my goodness. Keithley Bear! What a goated gift. Thank you for supporting the channel with the 20 gifted memberships. Incredibly kind. W. Keithley Bear. That does call for some, like, unlimited spamming of emotes. And it won't crash my PC. Jesus Christ. Oh my god. Do I have a golden lurking Labubu? Oh my god. Keithley, I didn't even know you fucking had one. Oh my god. Fucking W Gifties. Thank you for supporting the channel. Fuck. Fucking hell. Yeah, incredibly. Just thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. Incredible how well and I'm incredibly grateful to everyone who just watches as well. You all know that. Watching and commenting keeps this shit going, and I will be better, I swear. And I also, the streams are going to be longer once from July onwards, because I'm going to be, what I'm going to basically be doing is I'm going to be gaming for like an hour or 2 hours after. Well, I mean, the thing is that's what, I think today we're like, we're now like, getting pretty close to the member goal, the 1,000 member goal. So I do actually have to decide something. Maybe I'll do a poll for members. All going back to being a day behind for the sake of my mental health. Well, enjoy. Thank you so much for supporting.
That was completely ill-equipped and untrained to deal with terrorism. The plan to pledge the terrorists safe exit, then kill them, went disastrously wrong. In a firefight at a nearby military airfield, the terrorists turned their guns on their hostages. Once the firing stopped, all 9 of the Israeli hostages, a German policeman, and 5 of the 8 terrorists were dead. Fencing coach Andrei...
By the way, just something to note here. All of the Israelis have, like, their names just sound really German. Kind of a little thought. Like the stream, y'all. Indeed. And yeah, thank you all, everyone. Thank you, everyone.
Spitzer was killed that night. His wife, Anki, remembers visiting the flat in Connolly Street.
I went up and by myself, and then I stood there in the room, and the chaos was incredible because, you know, blood all over the place. They brought them food that they didn't eat. They didn't let them go to the bathroom. It was total chaos. And I just stood there and looked, and I said to myself, you know, if this is where they spend the last hours of their life, I am going to talk about it. I have to tell about it.
Olympic dreams shattered in a very black September, when the face of international terrorism now...
I just don't know why you would ever think that was a good idea. Like, why you think that would be a good idea? Of just like, yeah, I'm going to shoot all of them after the fact. That just feels dumb. Like, it just feels like a guaranteed way to get your hostages killed. It'd be much better if they just left the colony back to Germany. I mean, by the way, a lot of people wanted to do that, but there was no real ability. I'm going to be honest. Being real here, the major problem is a lot of Europeans didn't want Jews back. There were a lot of Jews who'd gone to Palestine who were like, yeah, I don't really like it here. I'd rather go to Europe. The Europeans just didn't want them. Imagine that, like, you get to fob off the problem that you have, like, you know, you've been anti-Semitic for centuries. You've, like, you know, your compatriots who are just, like, mass exterminators like you have just led to this major war in Europe and have gained so much power because of they are and because they're like you know, because they were anti-Semitic. They fobbed off this problem onto the Middle East. They just did. Like yeah, you're right. The US didn't want them, and anyone did. Also, random. I am 6'5" and bald. Jesus Christ! Can you not mention that, because I don't really want to interact with anyone who's that tall. I dread the thought of meeting someone who's a fan and them taking a photo and everyone being like, "You're 5'4". But yeah, don't worry. The bald community in here is amazing, and I know, unfortunately, a lot of people with hair are also fucking horrible little gammons.
All too familiar, made its horrifying grand entrance onto the world's television screen.
Do you know what is so crazy, though? You know Counter-Strike, right? Someone was like, Counter-Strike is like... I think Indy Nile mentioned how Counter-Strike, you could like play as the IOF in it, which is true, but you can also play as Palestinians. You used to be able to, they've removed it. Or CS... There's that really expensive skin that kind of looks like that. I think people call him the condom head guy on CSGO. His name's Number K. He kind of looks like that Palestinian militant from that image, just wearing a cover on his head. I don't know about you.
Screens. Diana Magnay, CNN, Berlin.
You got a squat. Yeah. All of you have to sit down. If you meet me, you have to make sure that we meet on like a hilly area, and I get to stand above you, please. Oh my goodness. Wait, I haven't really been following this story because I was faffing around earlier. But oh god, they do still have IOF training cards. Guys, who wants to see me convert my Steam cards into, my Steam IDF cards into gems? Drop a 1 in chat. I'm actually not 5 foot tall. I'm actually 5'8". I'm not 5'7". Sorry, are they just going to war? This is actually probably quite significant. Maybe I should cover this tomorrow properly, but I'll just put this on quick.
Tension is high along Yemen's western coast, where there's been fighting between soldiers from the internationally recognized government and Ansarullah Houthis. Authorities say that after years of relative calm, the Iranian-backed Ansarullah group is aiming to advance south to areas outside its control. Positions controlled by the UN-recognized administration have come under attack in the region of Tehama. Yemen's Minister of State says that dozens of government troops and members of the Ansarullah group were killed in confrontations there, and that government forces are holding on to their areas. 15 government soldiers were killed in battles in the southern part of Hodeidah province.
I mean, by the way, okay, I will do that next stream if I still have any. By the way, something quite significant about this is the government, the precedent set by the Iran war. Never let anyone tell you otherwise. The precedent set by the Iran war is the global economy can be throttled by Iran. Do you know who has an even better chance at throttling Saudi Arabia, which can get out of the Strait of Hormuz? The fucking Houthis. The fucking Houthis. The Houthis can do that. 2 days history was made. Yeah, wait. 2 days ago, history was made when an Iranian civilian airplane landed in Yemen since 10 years blocked from international flights. That's actually one of my favorite features of, like, you know, the Iranians, like, having a proxy in Yemen. Here's a good question for you. Saudi Arabia blockaded the country. They basically gained control over it. They blew up They blew up the majority of their airports. I think they blew up every airport. How are they getting Iranian weapons in?
Houthis rebels control most of that province and have been undertaking a military build-up in recent weeks. The government says that 50 of them were killed and dozens more wounded in some of the latest fighting near the city.
Sorry, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, but the term fapping is definitely not like an official term in the United States. I don't know what you're saying. It's not like the government is like mandating fapping.
City of Taiz. Meanwhile, protesters have poured onto the streets of the capital Sana'a, staging a rally near the city's main airport. They're demanding the full withdrawal of a blockade on the facility enforced by the Saudi-led coalition and the return of international flights. Let's take you live now to Sana'a. Al Jazeera's Yusuf Mauri is live for us in the Yemeni capital. Yusuf, how intense are these clashes?
Well, as you mentioned, it's been relatively quiet over the past couple of years. These are surprising attacks, as the government officials described them, that occurred in the dawn hours and lasted for several hours. One government official describes it as the deadliest attack to have taken place in years. It's an indication of how fragile this ceasefire remains between Yemeni government and the Ansarullah Houthi group, who control the majority of the southern province of Hodeidah. These are very critical front lines. This area where the clashes are taking place in the district of Hais in southern Hodeidah, it sits on the road. It's a district that sits on the road of that link between three critical provinces, including the province of Hodeidah, the province of Taiz, and the province of Ib. Three provinces that the Ansarullah Houthis and government forces have been
I've just been muted. Sorry, I was just saying, I know Sophie's always going on about how the production quality has gone down. Why is there just a guy breathing really loud out of his nose? Why is he breathing incredibly loud out of his nose? What is this?
Fighting for since 2015, and now we're seeing that the seeds of civil war that were planted back in 2015 are beginning to sprout, and now you have both sides trying to gain more territory, especially in the coastal.
What on earth is going on? Why is his nose like? I know I got a blocked nose, but I'm not going.
The western coastal front of Hodeidah. Whoever controls Hodeidah, or whoever controls the majority of Hodeidah, they have access to the Red Sea. Under the Ansarullah Houthis' control, they've been successfully able to target cargo ships since 2023. Since October of 2023, they've attacked 228 vessels that they say is linked to the U.S. and linked to Israel. One of those vessels, or one of those cargo ships, was seized back in 2023, and it remains under the
It's still going. How is he still doing it?
Capture of the Ansarullah Houthi. So you can get an indication or an idea why so much clashes are taking place now in this part of Yemen. It's basically whoever controls it has the upper hand. Whoever controls it controls access to the Red Sea, and whoever controls the southern part of Hodeidah, ultimately they controls what goes in and out of the Yemen through the port of Hodeidah and through the port of Al-Mukha, which is the only port in that region that is under the control of the UN-recognized Yemeni government.
Has there been any attempt, Yusuf, to restart the talks between the Saudis and Ansarullah?
There's no talks. It's basically just a ceasefire that was announced since 2022. That ceasefire is now in jeopardy because of the late.
Also, I think this looks like it could be the next big. Alden Markey, who's like someone pretty decent. He'd actually be a great person to have on. It kind of looks like something actually quite significant might be happening in Yemen.
ترفع في المواسم.
Oh, I was not endorsing that, but anyway, Yemen's final battle for liberation is drawing near. I don't know.
Latest tensions all started when the Iranian flight attempted or successfully landed in the Sana'a International Airport. You were showing footage earlier of the protest that took place at Sana'a International Airport, where basically Yemenis, they want to break this Saudi US-backed siege on Yemen's international airport. It has been closed. It has been suspended since Israel attacked it just a couple of years ago, where they managed to destroy the airport. And not only that,
what, into Yemen? The only difference, though, and this is not to undermine any of these things, okay? And I don't think it should ever be taken in this way. The only difference between Yemen and Gaza is, like, the size and the fact that in Yemen, you have, like, tons of different, like, militant organizations. Whereas in Gaza, there are two different military organizations. Like, well, you could kind of split them into two, like exactly two, especially at the start and the onset. You have Israel and you have the Palestinians. You have Palestinian resistance factions. You have Hamas, Palestinian Islamic Jihad, the DFLP, PFLP. All of those people fight for Palestine. They fight for the Palestinians against Israel, okay? Getting aid into a fucking area that is like that versus an area that is one of the most populous parts of the Middle East, like that, it's quite a different thing. And that doesn't undermine it. It doesn't change how bad it is. But it is just incredible that Israel did that. That Israel, like, just did that.
But they also destroyed all of the Yemeni airlines. And now Iran attempted to break that siege. Saudi Arabia sent in a couple of fighter jets to try to intercept and to try to divert the Iranian plane from landing at Sana'a International Airport. Of course, that attempt failed, and the Iranian flight managed to land at Sana'a International Airport. And now this is why we're seeing the clashes. Again, it's an indication of how fragile the ceasefire is, a ceasefire that has lasted since 2022. If that ceasefire is no longer in effect, we could very well see Saudi Arabia begin launching military.
Yeah, and it's also, by the way, obviously it doesn't fix things, but during a famine in a bigger country, and a country that's like Yemen or Sudan, there are like some methods you can revert to of like foraging and stuff. In Gaza, Israel was just killing people whilst they foraged. Like, they killed them and there's not enough space to even forage, and they took all of the agricultural land away. Lots of cat being chewed. Yeah. The loud breathing is too distracting. It's okay, we've kind of got the gist of this. On that note, I've been live for ages. So guys, I'm going to close that up here. I'll be live again here tomorrow. You'll see me. We'll actually talk in depth about this Yemen stuff. I think I'll do like a whole little piece on it. I thank you all for being here. Thank you for everyone who commented, liked, shared, donated. There is probably tonight going to be another YouTube video. It's going to be called Why Do Liberal Zionists Hate Religious Jews? And I hope you enjoy it. So yeah, just let me know. We'll see if it's up today. I hope you have a lovely rest of the day though. See you soon. Bye.